How did we go from bathtub to Battlegrounds?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, zero stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
Red Bull gives you wings.
क्या इस सीजन खत्म होगा सेंसे का ट्रॉफी कस? जॉनथन भी है तैयार. वीक 2 में गॉडलाइक करेगी प्रहार. क्या जेनेसिस ई स्पोर्ट्स की हंटिंग वीक 2 में भी रहेगी बरकरार? इस बैटलग्राउंड के जंगल में एप्स करेंगे सबसे ज्यादा शोर. Watch BGMS Season 4 live on Jio Hotstar, Star Sports and Nodwin Gaming's YouTube channel daily from 5 p.m. onwards.
It's the final week in the league stage, and as we know, the playoffs are now getting ever so close. Welcome to BGMS Season 4, Week 3, Day 1, where I'm going to be your host, Crore. John alongside with me on the panel, it's Scared Yet. And Scared, I'm pretty sure you were sitting in the back lines looking at yesterday's broadcast, and you would have seen that domination that we saw from Hero Extreme Godlike in the first game, but then Metal Esports with that consistent string, and we also did see NoNx wake up in quite a great fashion.
I mean, I was absolutely enjoying it, those games, right? Specifically for the fans out there, I'm pretty sure they'd be happy with that 45 bomber coming in. And this is what the Impact Player Weekend always brings in for you, right? On every other day, we are seeing the average somewhere around, what, 20 points, maybe 25 if the game is very good for you. And then comes the Impact Week. You will see teams pull up those 40 bombers, bring in some 30 points as well. One of the teams that I actually liked, finally they were waking up again, was also MyG Los Hermanos. I mean, they were at least getting some early eliminations.
Yeah, I mean, MyG Los Hermanos, yes, able to get a few points here and there, but knowing the fact that they're so far back in the overall standings, a few points is not going to help them now. They need those massive catapults. And we're already at the last week. The teams on the last page, they better buckle up and they start playing aggressive and take advantage of the power-ups that are provided to you. And if you're still going to decide to play it passive, I highly doubt you will be moving on towards the semifinals or the grand finals. You will directly move towards the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things which you mentioned already, right? Specifically for teams on the last page as well. There was one team which I've constantly been watching for such a long time, and that has been Team NoNx. My goodness, the way they've been pulling themselves back up. They're in the top 12 now.
Absolutely. NoNx yesterday had a banger of a day, but things kicked off with Hero Extreme Godlike and their domination with 45 points. They were on an absolute tear, eliminating teams left, right, center. You brought up MyG Los Hermanos at the start, and this is how the action really kicked off for them. But unfortunately for MyG Los Hermanos, they instantly got third-partied by the players 4TR.
It was a big game coming in for 4TR as well, but man oh man, you mentioned it perfectly. Godlike was on an absolute streak. Behemoth performance coming in from them, only to be stopped by Metal Esports.
And then in the final few moments, it was Metal Esports to pretty much claim that chicken dinner and move on with happy faces. Since Scout has taken a backseat, Metal Esports' performance has been skyrocketing on a different level. And now as you move on towards the map of Miramar, once again Metal Esports and their domination kicked off. We did see Phoenix Esports once again start things off on a bit of that aggressive note, but Global Esports, they moved on and eliminated the likes of FS Esports within a flash.
That was a big game coming in for them as well, at least that early start which we were hoping for, but 4TR as well, a team that was not really that far behind, slowly pulling themselves back up, but as you mentioned, it was a streak for Metal.
And then you move on towards the smallest map in the competitive pool. That is going to be the map of Sanhok, where things kicked off once again with quite a massive bang. NINZA found themselves against some of the big dogs, but NINZA were still doing a great job in defending themselves. But later on in the final few moments, NINZA, they ran up against the players of True Rippers, where things got a little bit dicey for them. Luckily enough, they were able to break through the shackles, but still their end was near. In the final few moments, we saw NoNx go up against the players of Metal Esports, but Metal Esports was so consistent. Yes, NoNx was able to claim that chicken dinner.
Almost a hat-trick coming in for Metal Esports for being the MVP of that map itself. Clearly showcases a different level of Metal that's coming in right now, and I'm pretty sure that this team would want to push up even further as we move over towards that last one. You can't keep Metal out of that action either way.
Exactly. Even in the last game, Metal Esports was there in the final few moments, securing those placement points and even the elimination points. Yes, the scrappy ones, but Metal Esports, they have finally breached in that top 8 and now looking extremely comfortable on that 8th spot with 338 points. Looking at the top 4, Revenant X Park still at the top. You've got Hero Extreme Godlike on the 2nd, OG on the 3rd, and God's Reign on the 4th.
I mean, the closest one is going to be to them Genesis Esports, right? Just 1 point behind, and considering you've got Soul and 8-Bit in the exact same group as well, they can anytime bounce back up. And this is also given that Hero Extreme Godlike, they haven't played 2 more games. They will be playing 2 games today, and same goes for Genesis as well. So we might possibly see Genesis reclaiming back the top 4 spot.
I mean, look at the second page, right? You've got teams like Victorious Sumus now sitting on the 16th spot. Yeah, understandable. Victorious Sumus, they have been getting those chicken dinners here and there, but the amount of chicken dinners Victorious Sumus has got, you'd really expect them to be around the top 8, right? Maybe not in the top 8, but at least be around the 11th spot or the 12th spot. But no, that's not the case. VS is still quite far back. You've got the last page popping up on the screen. You've got Mad Kings, My Los Hermanos, NINZA, Reckoning Esports. All the names I took are the names with a lot of potential.
I mean, if you really look at that, talk about potential from Likitha Esports. They've got 3 chicken dinners for them. Yep. The only team to have anything more than 2 all the way on the last page itself. That clearly showcases you. They've got some good games which they eventually utilize to boost themselves back up. But apart from that, yeah, there's been some rough days. And since we're on the topic of rough days as well, Genesis have not really had the greatest of the greater days out here.
Recently, Genesis Esports as well, their form has been fading away, which is quite concerning. Hunters is not able to perform. Zap is not able to perform on the same level. Genesis Esports got hunted down yesterday by Hero Extreme Godlike as soon as the game started off, and Hero Extreme Godlike was able to claim the bounty. Now, if you remember when Hero Extreme Godlike had the bounty atop of their heads, it was Genesis Esports constantly hunting them down. So it was a bit of a revenge that was served from Hero Extreme Godlike yesterday, and since we're speaking so much about Genesis Esports, here's the team card of them. 32 finishes from Gravity, Hunters getting 64, Yash getting 27, Zap getting 35. Suraj, this man is not really playing a lot of games, which makes a lot of sense. That's why he does not really have a lot of finishes.
But here's the thing, right? You can see the disparity. Like, it's an insane disparity. Hunters is performing twice than rest of his teammate as well now. Yes, you would expect him to be that impact, right? He was also the impact player for the team as well in the previous week of week 1. After that, if you talk about week 2 itself, yes, he's been performing consistently. There's been some 1v4s, but you can't keep on expecting him to pull those 1v4s time and time again.
I mean, for Hunters, yes, I do understand you cannot really rely on just that one single man to perform every single time. But the fact that he was able to perform on such a level, you cannot even blame for the team to actually rely onto him because they did not even need to work hard when Hunters was popping off. But now, since Hunters is not popping off, the entire team, it seems like they're falling on top of their faces, not knowing what exactly to do. We've got Hero Extreme Godlike's team card on the screen. Punk getting 34, Jonathan getting 54. The man's able to carry his own weight. Admino getting 73. Of course, the man's carrying the entirety of the team. And then you move on towards Simp. Of course, a disappointing run in the BGMS Season 4 so far. Godsy's addition has definitely helped Hero Extreme Godlike amp up that aggression and get the confidence back.
Absolutely. They've been constantly on that rotation as well with Simp and Godzi as well. But I'm really liking the fact how this Godlike is playing on. And you know what? Since we've been talking about Genesis and Godlike, why not let's send it down to Suren and ask what he's got to show.
इस अरीना में कल एक मैच के बाद इनफैक्ट पूरी शाम सिर्फ एक ही टीम की गूंज थी. एक्चुअली उस टीम की गूंज जो है वो आपको कम्युनिटी में भी सुनने को मिल जाएगी. एंड दैट इज गॉडलाइक. पंक मेरे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं. पंक, ऑलमोस्ट अ 50 पॉइंट गेम, राइट? लेकिन मैच जो है वो हाथ से फिसल गया. एंड दैट इज समथिंग दैट आई वांट टू टॉक टू यू अबाउट. जब ऐसा मैच होता है, क्योंकि ये पहली बार नहीं हो रहा है, ये 2-3 दफे हो चुका है इस टूर्नामेंट में इस सीजन. हाउ डू यू रिकवर फ्रॉम दैट ब्रो?
एक्चुअली यार ये तो होता ही है कि ज़्यादा हम एक्स्ट्रा पंप हो जाते हैं तो मैच थ्रो वगैरह हो जाता है. बट हमारा मेन एम है वो टॉप 4 में रहने का. तो लाइक गेम के बाद में डिस्कशन वगैरह करता हूँ, थोड़ा डांटता हूँ उन लोगों को एंड थोड़ा संभाल लेता हूँ कि एक्स्ट्रा पंप मत होना नेक्स्ट मैच से.
दो लोगों की परफॉर्मेंस कल बहुत कमाल थी उस मैच में. एडमिनो जो आपके बेस्ट प्लेयर हैं एंड देन यू गॉट द सुपरस्टार जॉनथन. लेकिन इन सिचुएशंस में जब मैच आपके हाथ से फिसल जाता है, एवरीबडी एंड्स अप थिंकिंग कि आप हाईलाइट रील तो बना लेते हो लेकिन मैच क्लच नहीं कर पाते हो.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. देखो वही है, हर दिन अच्छा और हर दिन बुरा, मतलब ये बैलेंस रहता ही है. तो वही है, जिस दिन अच्छा जाएगा ऑटोमेटिकली चीज़ें होती है, बुरा जाएगा उस चीज़ को भी हमें टैकल करके अगला दिन पे इम्प्रूवमेंट की ओर बढ़ना पड़ता है. तो बस यार अप्स एंड डाउन्स जिंदगी का पार्ट है. देखते हैं अब आज का क्या रहता है.
यू गाइस आर वन ऑफ द मोस्ट लव टीम्स. और फैंस जो हैं आपके गॉडलाइक के जो फैंस हैं वो शायद सबसे लॉयल फैन बेस माने जाते हैं, राइट? लेकिन अब उनके सवाल भी उतने ही बड़े होते जा रहे हैं बिकॉज 3 सीजन्स और वो ट्रॉफी कैबिनेट जो है वो खाली है. कह रहे हैं कि अब नहीं तो कभी नहीं. डू यू थिंक फाइनली एक फैन फेवरेट टीम लाइक गॉडलाइक वो कर्स तोड़ेगी एंड ट्रॉफी अपने नाम करेगी?
देखो यार, फ्यूचर का तो मैं कुछ प्रेडिक्ट कर नहीं सकता हूँ, बट हमारा भी जैसे कि आप लोगों को पता है जितने भी अपने फैंस हैं, इन लोग का जो प्यार है वही वो लाइक नेक्स्ट लेवल है. मैं वर्ड्स में तो बयान नहीं कर सकता, लेकिन इतना है कि यार इस बार तो पूरा 100% है. मैं तो कोई एक्सक्यूज देने आया नहीं हूँ, अपना बेस्ट दूंगा और बेस्ट दे के जाऊंगा.
Is he going to punk every other team? That's the big question. Jonathan, Edmino और साथ में Gods. This lineup, what do they have in store for us? Well, पता लगेगा. 4 matches all being played on the OnePlus 13. Let's take a break and come back with match number 1.
What's the cheat code, bro?
No code.
So, a script then, or a bot?
No script.
Alright, class, for today's lesson...
I already taught her something.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day for OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, zero stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Welcome back after that short break, and just within a few moments, we're gonna hop inside of the first game of the day. We've got teams like OG Soul, Revenant X-Bar, K9 Esports, Hero Extreme Godlike, Global Esports, 8-Bit, and much more bigger names waiting on the opposite side of the spectrum to hop inside of the first game of the day. As Erangel's gonna be the first map, as we all know, and Group B and C will be the one to kick things off. And you know, Scared, whenever Global Esports is a part of the first game, there's something about Global Esports in that first game. They always end up performing extremely well.
They've been having that streak as well. Quite a few times we've seen them constantly performing out there, though. Changes out happening here. Unfortunate for Godlike and playing with just 3 people for themselves right now. But overall, if we really talk about rest of the teams, yes, pretty confident. Global Esports always looking pretty solid and focused on whenever it comes down to the first map of Erangel. They always end up being at least in the final circle, at least being on that position where they can claim that chicken dinner. And I think so it's going to be very crucial for them to have that big start right now, considering the gap between the top 4 and the rest of the slab is now slowly and steadily increasing, and the days are getting numbered.
We've got Group B and C on the screen, and as I mentioned, of course, the big names will be part of it. But let's hope that Genesis Esports, they start to bring that prime form back once again in the BGMS Season 4. They are definitely lacking a little bit in the overall standings. Even their positions now being scraped away by all the other teams right underneath them. And there's a big chance Genesis Esports might just fall outside of the top 5 soon.
I still remember the time right before the last 3 days of the previous week where Genesis Esports were on top with a buffer of at least 20 to 30 points bare minimum from the second placing team, with 2 more spare games available.
Yep.
From that position now, not being a part of that top 4, that's absolutely a big dip, right? We talk about Orangutan taking that dip as well, but still at least they're consistent in top 4, juggling between 3rd, 4th and 5th position. But whenever the day ends, they're still on that 3rd place. That's one big thing coming in for their side. So yeah, I'm expecting Genesis as well to pull their socks up.
And speaking of inconsistent teams, even K9 Esports has to be part of this conversation. Since K9 Esports, even that's one of those names that's been struggling a bit too much. You expect them to pop off right in the next game, but that's the game where K9 Esports instantly falls off. That's not what you expect from a big banner like K9 Esports. That's not what you expect from the Agile Omega. Before now, the plate's gonna hit the sky, starting all the way from Sanhok military base towards the opposite side, which is Severny. This plate flat path is dividing the map perfectly into two equal halves.
Here's the thing, God's Reign, they're going to be super happy about jumping back into the military base. K9, they're going to go back towards Severny as well. So most of the teams will be able to go to their drop locations, barring the ones who would want to drop over towards Milta Power or maybe towards Lipovka as well. But one of the most important things out here is that all 4 bounty teams are playing right now. So it's like the best opportunity for teams like Marcos Gaming, for NoNx, for 40R, even Mad Kings to try and boost themselves up in the ranking.
Especially for the teams at the bottom, this is going to be the best possible opportunity for them to go ahead and grab those bounty points. I'm speaking of TWOB, I'm speaking of even Soul maybe to actually solidify a good spot in that top 4.
Yeah.
And Soul as well, they have been looking a little bit shaky, right? Let's be honest. Performance has been lacking recently. We're not exactly seeing Legit once again back in that full form. Legit is able to get a few scrappy elimination points, but that's not what you expect from a team like Soul.
Here's the big thing, right? I mean, as much as Genesis is dependent on Hunters with a consistent performance, I'd have to say, Soul is also in the similar boat, barring the fact that, yes, sometimes Goblin also shines up, sometimes rest of the members slowly and steadily get those finishes as well. So they are not as heavily dependent on Legit. But yes, the playstyle is something that I potentially see is very similar to them right now. Though Soul, again, going back over towards that school area and the apartments. OG up close towards Rozok, no problem. But look at the circle, my goodness.
Mad Kings and K9 Esports right next to each other. And there's definitely a big chance K9 Esports will go for a fight like this. We know it's K9 Esports. They're quite stubborn. And especially K9 Esports is struggling in the overall standings as well. They would love to be part of the early game action. Even TWOB is another one of those teams that's currently sitting all the way at the bottom in the overall standings. And you do not really expect a team like TWOB to sit there. But TWOB this time around on a hunt. And I love this play from the side of TWOB. Exactly what you expect from a banner like this. But the man from Marcos Gaming, he's playing this perfectly well. Wanted to melee the man down, but luckily enough, that's not going to be the concern anymore for TWOB since they do find the elimination and even the confirmation instantly.
The show quickly catching the first one as well out here. Mac, Avi, Pukar, all of them All around the same corner now. You see another Strangler out here. But do you really want to overstay your welcome? There's still a couple of players from Marco's Gaming Group. Now got the weapon as well. But gets bored.
That was such a lucky shot.
Absolutely from AKM. Answers back. He's got no bullets.
Oh no, this is getting awkward. TWOB, this is one of the main reasons why they lack in the overall standings. How do you lose that battle? Oh my god, such a massive mess up that was from TWOB. They get 1, but with the trade of 2. Absolutely not worth it.
Overstaying their welcome.
And once again, to let you guys know, the Impact player system is only active in the weekends. Yeah. It's not active at the week starts. And today's Monday. I hope you all are aware.
You don't need to put the salt on their wounds.
Let's be honest, man. Sometimes we ourselves do not know what day it is.
I remember when I came here earlier, I saw a friend of mine wearing the t-shirt with the Garfield logo over on it, and it was written, "I hate Mondays."
I don't know why, man. I don't know why Mondays are catching strays like that. They're not that bad if you think about it.
Because we work in an industry where it's fine to not report on Mondays sometimes.
Well, you got a solid point there.
Man, oh man. But it's important for all of these teams to report out here in the game right now. TWOB, they thought they had a solid start. Overstayed their welcome. Eventually destroyed. That's what happens when you celebrate a little too much on your Sundays.
I mean, Soul as well, just having 3 players. Godlike 2. Started things off with just 3-man squad inside of this game. But Soul, unfortunately, they've lost out a Joker. And now they're going to start things off with just a 2-man squad. Soul, I don't think they're going to stand a chance to be alive in the game anymore since they've only got one last man legit. And for NoNx, this should be a free elimination point. But how does Legit win that duel? Anonymous all the way from the far fray. He's only got the iron sight on the MP45. He does have the AKM as well backing him up. But how is he supposed to win this duel? That's my question. And that's my concern as well. Now the man's going to go for the confirmations as well on the players right next to him. Spots out Legit. Gets outside of that vehicle. Legit in the front. He's got the pump shotgun available. And this time around, Legit losing a duel. It's not something you see that often. But Legit does lose this duel. As NoNx are the one to come out on top. But still, that got way too close for comfort.
Absolutely too close out here right now. Losing onto a couple of members as well now. They're going to make sure that at least Kana remains alive. That was a big play coming in out here right now. Bit of a trouble as well for the team. And I know you want to say something. Go for it.
Yeah, if you noticed, we started the lobby with just 15 teams.
Yeah.
Phoenix Esports did not want to play the games because they're unwell.
Unfortunate out here.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. But for Soul and Godlike, the only reason why they started things off with a 3-man squad, it's because, once again, they were not able to join the lobby in time. This is what happens, guys, when you do not do anything on time. Things will be left out. People will not wait for you. That's why you need to be on time. You need to be punctual.
It's a big thing out here right now. Since you've been dropping a lot of things out here, I'm just going to say it out, right? Even though Godlike is playing with just 3 players, if a squad is able to eliminate all 3 of them, it will get the bounty.
Oh, yeah.
That stands. That's valid.
Really good point.
Considering they don't really have Jonathan out here right now, who, apart from Admino, is also one of the most impactful players for that lineup, one would even think that it might get a little bit easy to claim that, don't you think?
Of course. I mean, if I was a part of this lobby, I would definitely go for it. I would target them, because I know they've only got 3 players. And just by eliminating 3 players, you will get additional 10 points. Why would you not want to do that?
And here's the fun thing, right? Godlike did not really drop onto their own normal location of Stolper or somewhere around Lipovka or any other that part. They dropped around Novoripnoi. And that was one of the most interesting things coming in for that lineup, because it was a bit of risky maneuver. Because we have seen some teams drop out there, but the good thing is they're not playing in this entire lobby. We don't have Reckoning Esports. We don't even have True Rippers out here right now.
Yeah.
So that location was free, and they picked up the nice spot for themselves. But now they'll have to move forward and basically battle against the circle, because God's Reign will be stopping any pursuit coming in from that part.
They're a part of a completely different group. Global Esports all the way towards Yasna Polyana. You've got K9 Esports making a rotation down south. 4TR all the way towards Georgopol Apartments. Mad King's on the left of Hospital. Once you have a look at the replay on what exactly happened in that fight between NoNx and Soul. Once again, Soul did not really have enough member to go for this fight. That's why with just a 3-man squad, things were a little bit tough for Soul to convert anyways, but still it got really close.
Yeah.
In the end, it was a 1v1 between Legit and the man from the side of NoNx.
Anonymous, yeah.
And they somehow ended up winning that duel. But still, solid effort from the side of Soul. Imagine if they would have won that duel, that would have been insane.
I have no idea how Legit was able to land that knock from that range with a UMP-45. For a second, I got absolutely flabbergasted when I saw a UMP without any scope with the iron sight. Luckily, it was not for Legit, it was for Anonymous. But I almost thought there, as soon as we swapped, I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And then I read the name out here, but hold on for a second, because look at down south in the military base. As the circle shifts away, all the way over towards Primos, Marcos Gaming find themselves in the best possible spot. But I can't say the same thing for Godlike.
I mean, the way the zone is forming up, it's like 50% of the zone's unplayable.
Yep.
And the teams now will need to adapt with the remaining surface. A lot of these teams are going to start to stack up around Primorx. Soon there's going to be a massive wave of vehicles in that city.
Yes.
For Marcos Gaming, there's going to be too many teams to deal with. You've got NoNx as well, pretty much moving around that same vicinity. Even Mad King's trying to drive all the way down south towards Primorx. 4TR as well from that northern side, wanting to find a breaching point. K9 Esports, they've already done so. But on the screen, we've got Revenant X Park all the way back towards blue. And the moment I say so, we switch on towards 8-bit. And unfortunately for 8-bit, oh, they're definitely catching a lot of hurt this time from the side of OG. OG able to win the fight pretty well, and 8-bit now in shambles. The players are not standing a chance, but there is still that one man in the back, which is Somraj. And Somraj as well, he's dishing out a lot of damage. He finds the third knock. But in the end, he gets eliminated himself.
It was like a shot being fired at the exact same time, but hold on a second. Genesis are here. They are here to claim the bounty. They've got to get every single elimination first before they eliminate the team on the other side. They're still losing some members of their own.
Oh my god, OG. Unbelievable stuff. They're actually on the verge of making a comeback in this fight as well, but I think he's taken down extremely low. Now with a shotgun, up close and personal, he finds another strike! And he takes down Zap and his comrade within the blink of an eye! Everyone wrapped up by Athenki. Disgusting stuff! Zap and Gravity got absolutely slapped outside of the lobby!
Look at the smug this dude has on his face right now. Holy smokes!
Oh my god!
Let it sink in, bro. Let it sink in.
He just did a 1v3 there.
Impeccable stuff.
Magnificent. That's what you call a supreme player. Class maintained by Athenki for years. This man's been a part of the competitive circuit for such a long time. And up till now, he still maintains that class. He maintains that performance. It's been what, like more than 5 years? This man's a part of it? It's insane if you think about it.
He's
it's
constantly
really insane.
performing.
Yeah.
Fun fact is now you can't really claim the bounty of OG either.
Yep. Spoiled.
Absolutely.
But look at the zone. Oh my god, just 25% playable. It's just Primorx that's inside of the circle.
Nice.
Things cannot get even more dicier. Teams now caught off guard. Not a lot of playing surface available, not a lot of covers available either. And everyone's messed up big time. All the other teams that are not even inside of the circle, for example, Global Esports, Godlike, OG, all the way back in the blue, I highly doubt they will be able to survive. They need to contribute to the chaos. That's the only way they can gather any sort of points. But as of now, 4TR, they're doing a fantastic job in playing the survival game.
Oh, the snake.
K9 Esports in the front. Beast is able to shut down Z-God up top. And Pain, he might just be in a bit of a trouble, but Pain, he plays it perfectly well. Eliminates another man of K9 Esports, and now Omega, the only glimmer of hope standing. 4TR, they've got the man advantage inside of the fight, and 9F God, He breaches in and eliminates K Omega.
Big play coming in. K9 absolutely destroyed out there. Such a late rotation coming into the circle as well. And then meeting up with the members of 4TR, who themselves have been on the streak of hopping back in. And I think so that is absolutely big. Phenomenal performance. Getting 3 of those finishes though. If only they would have had this in the power play itself, it would have been even better right now. But it's fine.
But it's such a blunderous start for K9 Esports, a team that's sitting on the 14th spot.
How many times have we said that now?
Look, if you think about it, on paper, K9 Esports isn't doing too bad in the overall standings. They're still on the 14th. They just need to be in the top 12. They've got an entire week ahead of them, and I'm pretty sure they will do it. But honestly speaking, I'm concerned about what happens when they make it to the Grand Finals. That's what I'm concerned about more.
I agree. You're going to have those straight-up solid gameplays coming in from all of these top teams now, and if a small slip-up happens now, since this is the last week for you, even a small slip-up will plummet you all the way down in the bottom. And the bottom 12 will meet with the teams of BGCS. The top 4 specifically. So that's going to be crucial right now. But coming back onto the members of God's Reign, or rather, looking a little bit further back, it's going to be Global Esports right now. They're taking a lot of stray shots. Revenant X Park, they're just trying to gatekeep the members.
Oh, they're facing the wrath of Revenant X Park. Global Esports. In a world of hurt. And Manda, he really wants to take a duel against Trace, but in the end, he gets gunned down by the remaining teammates of Revenant X Park. Perfectly played, well done, and Trace caught from the sidelines. The man is constantly spamming away, chipping away. Global Esports, they won't stand a chance. It was such an awkward terrain to play the fight in, and they got absolutely eviscerated in this game.
It was 2 circles that they eventually waited up to tank all the way in blue. Holding their rotation down, but this obnoxious circle shift is something that caught them off guard. And for now, the obnoxious rotation of TWOB is also catching me off guard. I have no clue how they're going to survive out of this.
Yeah, these zone shifts are really curveball, catching everyone off guard.
Who apart from Pukar would give this kind of call? And Atanki right now, he's having his own fun time. That man has made it back to the safe spot for now.
I mean, look, TWOB is going for a massive botation. In fact, they do not really have to boat. They're using the hovercraft. So, the thing is, they're putting a lot of efforts for this rotation, but I'm telling you, in the end, they will be eliminated within a flash.
Exactly my point, because what are you going to do after you get out of the hovercraft? There's going to be, what, around 10-15 crosshairs on your hovercraft, and it's not immortal. We talk about immortal, and instantly got like pop-up on our screens right now as 4TR. They already lost a couple of members. Now, 2 of them down on their feet, as well as Iron of God finally falls down. They won 1 fight against Global Esports, but this one looks absolutely done and dusted.
Yeah. Confirmation follows up on Pain is Life. Hero Extreme, Godlike. 3 finishes on the block. Things looking bright. Matt King spotting that stray of OG. And even that man's eliminated now. Unfortunate for Atanki.
It's fine.
He was taking a botation himself, but found in the clutches of Clutch God.
But I'm not quite sure how Mad Kings are going to navigate through this part, right? Because the only thing that they have is just the cover of this dune on the beach. Apart from that, nothing. Yeah, you can try and add on an extra vehicle layer over that, but once that's blown to smithereens, you'll have nowhere to go.
What if the zone shifts inside the city? That's when you're messed up, Mad Kings.
Exactly.
If the zone's going to be around the shoreline, it's all good in the hood. It's all good and dandy. But if the zone moves inside of the city, that's where the real problem lies. There is Hero Extreme Godlike on the high ground towards the left. Still alive with all the 3 men intact, by the way. Doing a perfect job of playing that survival gameplay. TWOB all the way still back in the water lines. The blue's going to be on the move soon. And the only reason why TWOB is moving with the blue, it's because they do not really want to catch a lot of those bullets upon themselves. There is a possible safe land available for the players of TWOB. Maybe under the players of Hero Extreme Godlike. Yeah. But once again, for Hero Extreme Godlikes to really not lock their eyes on top of the target, I highly doubt that's going to be possible.
That's my whole point now. Hero Extreme Godlike have got the high ground. They've got all the vision that they need. So even if you would want to drop out there on the shoreline, everyone is going to have that vision over you. And hovercraft is not really one of the most silent vehicles either ways. So you can try and move around, but eventually you will be spotted. Maybe TWOB, they're going to still hold down onto their rotation around this drop. It's a bit far away right now, so that's fine. But for how long? Because this circle is supposed to take a northern shift right now, given the script.
I'm not sure what the game plan is for TWOB, but I'm pretty sure they're just trying to survive for as long as possible, wait for the lobby to eliminate each other. But for TWOB, I hate to break it to them, that's not going to be happening anytime soon. The zone takes another curveball shift all the way towards the right side. And this zone shift, to be honest, it might just be good news for TWOB. It will give them another chance at life.
I was absolutely having no hope for TWOB out here right now. But my dude Pukara has decided to pull the absurdest calls for his team. And for some reason, they are still working out for them. We know we're constantly mentioning that it's not going to work out for long now. But here we go. Shots being fired, hovercraft up in open. You're going to leave some players out in the waters itself. Try and swim. GG's, it's almost done now.
Yeah, TWOB can't survive anymore. Player spotted. They want to get on towards the shoreline. And Clutch God, I'm not sure what he's doing. Why is he looking at the bottom and top? Mac, the man's taken down extremely low. Polo, he's catching a lot of damage upon himself from the side of God's Rain. And Apollo, oh my God, he gets drowned to death. This blows for Mad Kings. What was Apollo doing in that scenario? Clutch God as well gets knocked. Oh my God, TWOB. They get a shot at life. How did this just happen? Mad Kings, how do you mess up like that? You just gave a free chance to TWOB to make their survival gameplay come through. And now TWOB also has a lot of death crates around them they can loot up. This is unbelievable. TWOB, they've literally got the God with them.
Plot armor, man. TWOB have got the plot armor with them right now. A team that is an absolute down bottom. And guess what? Mad Kings are eliminated as well. They were on the shorelines. They started to fire those shots, which eventually got the attention of Revenant X-Park. And they started to fire onto them.
And no way. There's just no way.
That's just how it happened. Mad Kings, yeah, the name stands true.
There's no way that's what just happened.
I know it's
I refuse to believe it. It's unbelievable. How do you lose a fight where the opponent cannot even shoot back? How do you lose that fight? Oh my God. Well, that's not what I mean when I say you're supposed to break limits. Hello?
Breaking the limits of possibilities. It's evolving just backwards.
I can't believe it, man.
That's just...
Oh my God. I mean, somehow Apollo goes all the way back in the water lines. I understand the man might be exposed, but then Clutch God hops on top of the hovercraft. What are you thinking, my friend? Of course you were going to be shot at.
Oh my God. I hop back onto the BGMS desk and this happens on day one. It's insane. It's madness coming in. Thanks for that madness now, TWOB. Still got a couple of members alive out here right now. One of the prime positions that I'll still give will be for the side of God's Reign. They've got some solid covers to play with, a good area that they've got under their control. Godlike moving all the way down towards the shorelines as well. It's going to be inevitable that they will finally see the members of TWOB and that fight will break out.
It's like literally the God wants TWOB to win.
At least to survive.
Unfortunately for TWOB, though, they do not even have the hovercraft to work with, and the future grounds are quite exposed. So how is TWOB supposed to make it on the opposite side?
Had no land to work with.
But luckily enough, they do have a few death crates lingering around them, so they can get a lot of their hands on the smokes, and then put up a smoke pathway, and then maybe close on towards the warehouse that's there in the front. But NoNx is over there camping it. But if they do manage to win that duel, that would go a long way.
I mean, if you've got the plot armor either way still now, then why not? The only thing is that they're absolutely in the center of everyone's fire lines. So they've got to probably throw out somewhere around 15 smokes bare minimum to try and make that pass. Right now, Godlike, they're going to pounce upon the members of God's Reign. And guess what? When gods collide, one of them will fall as the land shakes down. Neo still holds his own angle up top though, but Destro is not surviving this.
Oh no, Gods, the man's getting chipped up extremely low. God's Reign themselves! Since we know there's only 3 men standing for God's Reign, for Hero Extreme Godlike, it's a day with Destiny. It's proper 3v3 fight where they found the equalizer as well. And Neo, you're not an insect! You're a human being! Look back and shoot! Neo was so comfortable in his house, like a baby crawling around. And then he gets absolutely pumped to death. Delta just tossed a nade next to him.
What's happening?
Mistakes after mistakes in this game. Another nade toss next to you. Delta, what are you doing? What am I watching? A comedy of errors back to back. First from Mad Kings, now from God's Reign. Hero Extreme Godlike with a quick third party from NINZA, now getting absolutely dismantled. And Hero Extreme Godlike will be eliminated from this game too. But God's Reign, they're still cooking inside of the game. It's Delta who's doing a bit of that damage against the players of NINZA. Utilities now starting to cook. They're doing a lot of damage.
No bounties being claimed either for Godlike or for OG, and now unavailable for God's Reign as well. As only 2 players stand, 2 of them taken down by the Godlike's members. But man, oh man, if you would ask me what's the funniest game of BGMI that you watched, I will pull up this game.
Of course, man. This has to be the funniest game. That one game where the pros forget their pros. This is literally the game.
Oh my god.
TWOB still somehow alive, by the way. On the edges, like a snail. Creeping and crawling. NINZA, though. 5 eliminations from Dragon OP so far. This man is literally carrying the banner on his back. NINZA, the only reason why they've got so many eliminations, it's because of this one man. He's got 5 all by himself, and I'm pretty sure he has probably wiped an entire squad by himself.
And it's been such a long time as well that we've finally seen the members of NINZA perform. We really were hoping for them to pull all of it up. We know that this entire lineup has got so much potential, proving themselves in the official events as well. Even in some other third-party events, we've constantly seen them perform. Only following behind OG in the previous one too. So yes, seeing them struggle out here right now, it was outright obnoxious.
Revenant X Park in that warehouse. Looking comfy. It's on the edge though, so it's still going to be a point of concern. Since they probably would want to move in a little bit more towards the centric area. TWOB still on the edge line, still on the shores, playing it passive. Letting the flow of the game take over. There's NoNx in the front. Right next to NoNx, there's also Revenant X Park. But luckily enough for TWOB, one of the warehouse uncontested. So if TWOB wants, they can actually make a pounce over there, but in the process, they can be eliminated too.
It's going to be a problem out there though, but the question is, do the members of NoNx know where TWOB are? Because their attention is being grabbed by the members of NINZA right now, along with God's Reign. We've also got Marcos Gaming in the fray, so that could give TWOB a small window to work with. Revenant X Park is also not looking in this direction, so if in case they decide not to use any smokes, I think so that would be the best possible strategy. You've still got a small ridge line to play along with that shoreline. So you can try and survive for a little bit longer.
Oh, that knock though! Delta falls apart. Justin though, still in the game. Now he wants to save the day for the sinking ship of God's Reign. Delta. Luckily enough, the man's found a little bit of that stability. He's still knocked out though, so that's a problem. Justin's going to close on up, go for that revival. NINZA, this is going to be the perfect opportunity to go for a proper fight. But that Molotov from Poco will find the confirmation to Justin. The man's now getting chipped up. All the players from NINZA playing in tandem. And that's going to be the confirmation on top of the last man of God's Reign. But now it's time to take a fight against the players of NoNx on the opposite fray. NINZA, there's still one man from Marcos Gaming right next to you. And you need to be careful of that one straggler. He can spoil the day for you anytime. One util tossed in this house, and those can be 2 free knocks. So NINZA, they need to create a bit of that separation amongst themselves. You cannot play next to each other for the entirety of this time. Revenant X-Park, even they've taken a lot of damage upon themselves. 2 players quite hurt. One of them was knocked out. But now both of them back upon their feet. Yeah, TWOB Mac all the way from the shorelines going for those shots. Connection still missing. Revenant X-Park in that warehouse. TWOB, I'm not exactly sure what sort of game plan now is going to be executed, but luckily enough for TWOB, it seems like the zone is actually shifting in their court, and Revenant X-Park will need to move out in the open, but TWOB choking the fight. Revenant X-Park, they've got too many players alive. NINZA, they want to cross on towards the opposite side, but Marcos Gaming, even their massive banner in the works. Beard Baba is able to cross on towards the warehouse itself, but NoNx, they've got 2 men standing. Reaper and Poco, they need to do something, provide some cover to the man. But in the end, NINZA, I highly doubt they're going to stand a chance in this fight.
It's not really happening out here right now. Marcos Gaming answering back to them as well as Reaper. It's almost out and down right now. Poco will be taken down. Marcos Gaming making the move at the same time as Noddy. Racks up 4 eliminations for himself. And that's going to be the NoNx answer back. 2 players who've been surviving for such a long time on this warehouse. They will finally ruin the game of another team. It's only Superman remaining right now. Along with Stone. Everyone else being taken care of. This could be a Revenant X-Park game if they play their cards right.
Definitely can be. And Revenant X-Park, they've got 3 men standing. That's the most amount of men amongst all the teams that are currently surviving. 3 more teams for Revenant X-Park to try and defend. The zone's going to start to collapse soon. Fury separated from the pack. But now Fury's also going to be forced outside his comfort zone soon. So Fury will need to move with the blue. He's catching a lot of damage upon himself. Fury's getting chipped up pretty low. He's got the smoke grenade gun with him too. Closes on up towards his teammates. Utilities are tossed against Revenant X-Park, and now one well-placed util. It's going to find 2 pieces against Revenant X-Park. We all thought Revenant X-Park might just have the advantage, but since they grouped up, they messed up. And the last man traces while gets finished up. It was quite an awkward circle. You cannot even blame the teammates for not performing. But TWOB, they're still somehow cooking inside of the game with 2 men standing. And TWOB, they somehow defend the ground. But in the end, 2 exposed, and they get eliminated by the hands of Marcos Gaming.
Moving in towards the top 3 as well. Big one coming in for TWOB as Marcos will move up against the odds one more time. And they will claim the chicken dinner out here, not served to them on a silver platter, but stolen from someone's golden platter.
The zone was definitely the MVP, but man, oh man, what a way to close things off. This is the sort of the closing that you expect for a game like this. But I'm really happy for Marcos Gaming to get that chicken dinner. And probably now they will be reaching the top 12 if I'm not wrong. Should be looking decent. But decent's not enough. It's not their standard. Marcos Gaming, they're supposed to move up even higher in the overall standings and prove what they're capable of. And I personally never thought Marcos Gaming will be the one to get the chicken dinner, but this utility right here, it was a major spanner in the works for Revenant X-Park, and that one nade just spoiled the entire day.
And then it was TWOB as well. Mac answering back right from the smoke, catching the last member of Revenant X-Park. Big play coming in from the side of TWOB as well as Marcos Gaming. A lot of things to be discussed out here right now, people, but all of that is going to be after the short break. Don't go anywhere, we will be right back.
Charge your phone. Why won't you wait?
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
We're back again, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I know that first game was an absolute comedy out here. So we've got one of the best person to crack on the jokes on the desk out here. Shivansh, how are you doing? It's been a while to have you on this English desk.
Yeah, it's certainly been a while. And you know what? I'm very much excited about this particular day. I'm casting in English. Yesterday, I was with you in a different game. But hey, this is going to be an important and interesting day for me. I know you're just looking at me like, is he gonna mess up? But hey, I didn't.
I'm just waiting for you to pull that string out here right now.
All right, yeah. Everyone saw that, right? I was not so sleek with
absolutely,
that. But all right. Marcos Gaming even pulled a chicken dinner. So we have to talk about that.
That's absolutely surprising thing right now. I was about to say that a lot of people are going to clip a lot of things out here from this desk segment and also from the previous game too. But yes, Necro, before going away, he mentioned one thing properly, and that was the fact that the circle was definitely the MVP of the entire series.
I completely agree, because especially this particular event, just showcasing the players that you have to respect the circle. If you're not going to respect the circle will eventually disrespect you and push you to the end of the world. But eventually, in this case, it was the map. And to be honest, in that particular case, TWOB played the smartest. They just knew that, all right, the circle is not favoring us. You know what? We should stay in the waters.
This team has plot armor. I'm telling you. They absolutely had plot armor till the last second. Like, I would not anticipate anyone apart from Pukar to call his team to do stuff like that, right? Every single one of them are moving in here and there, at least entering from the northern part or maybe from the northeastern part. But yeah, on the way on the other side, you look at TWOB, they're just chilling out, having their own fun time, fishing out there in the sea where there was no fish to be found. But man, the entire game could eventually be summarized for OG, specifically this massive clutch coming in from Arthur.
Yeah, and I legit heard, while I was in the talent room, I legit heard iQOO shouting that, yeah, sit down, and oh my god, that was literal chills. But eventually we just saw a barrage of utilities from the side of Team God's Reign. I just saw Destro just lobbing every single, utility he had just to try his level best. But eventually Marcus Gaming pulled Ace up from the hatch. Yeah.
You forgot the utilities Delta was constantly throwing.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. You know what? That's a part of the game.
What? I would never want to play the game that you play, that means, because again, people, it was an absolute comedy coming in from the previous one, but it's absolutely fine. Still, Marcos Gaming, one of the unexpected winners out there. Revenant X Park were also there over towards the last circle, but that one big nade coming in from Stone, that was a big play, right? And
I agree.
It's been so many times where Stone, as well as Superman, they always stand up for the team when you least expect them to.
To be honest, Stone has been that one of the most consistent player from the side of Marcus Gaming. Nothing taken away from the other players, but Stone has been that center, catalyst so that his team can eventually just secure the chicken dinner. I don't know why you are laughing. Maybe it's my hairstyle or something, but the important factor is, scared, it's the other players. they got a chance to laugh now. I really want to see other teams, just climb up the ladder. We just saw some players, some teams were playing with just only 3 players.
Yes.
And that puts you in a, in a bad spot right off the bat. And from this particular matchup to moving towards the second map, I have some more expectation from those teams who end up in the top 3 but unable to get the chicken dinner.
That's one of the big points which you mentioned about the teams who were playing with 3 players out there right now. Soul as well as Godlike, 2 of the big banners out which we were expecting to eventually pull themselves back up, right? Maybe this was one of the days when Soul would finally find themselves up in the top 4 itself, or maybe when Godlike would push themselves all the way up since they had 2 more games remaining. That's not really happening out there right now. But I would still say, if you really compare to what Godlike performed as compared to what Soul did out there, Soul was still caught up with 3 members that were trying to chase down 4 TR, if I'm not wrong, right? And that's where the members were eventually taken down. Legit was the only man who was standing up at the last.
You can't replicate that. That is just like once in a blue moon type of thing. You knew that, alright, we're just playing with a 3-man lineup and you have to just do whatever you can. But to be honest, playing with a 4-man lineup just gives you more, advantage. True. Obviously, it does when you're playing with a squad game. Absolutely. But to be honest, I think so. Yes, it was a very good approach from the side of the players of Team Soul. But I would love to see if they can pull, off the same thing, and if they can collect some more points. But now, the major point is you have to be in the top 4 so that you can easily get the golden ticket for the grand finals.
And the competition is way too tough right now, since we've constantly been talking about that. 8-bit is also there. I mean, global esports, they're kind of losing their footings here and there too. But if you're really talking about it, I would still want it to focus down more onto 8-bit, because their fight against OG, my goodness, that was an absolute banger, to be very honest. I genuinely thought 8-bit would eventually win it out, but yeah, OG, specifically Atanki, he came out and clutched it all the way out. Genesis has been struggling a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen, which we've got to discuss. But you know what, we're going to give it to a short break. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
He was taken too soon. I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, 0 stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Radar, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
What's the cheat code, bro?
No code.
So, a script then, or a bot?
No script.
Alright, class, for today's lesson.
I already taught her something.
Wicket's gone next gen. The Raider iQOO brings more swagger with digital cluster with 85 plus connected features, GTT, best in class talk, and now 9 killer colors. And I'm pretty sure Necro has gone out there to check that bike because that is absolutely wicked right now. Since we're talking about the wicked things as well, in the previous one, my goodness, a wicked nade coming in from Stone to end the entire run of Revenant X-Pack, that was crucial.
That certainly was crucial, and while that happened, we just saw the player cams. Since it was not happy at all that we guys just got tucked behind the stone, a boulder, and that wasn't the perfect call. But once again, scared, that is a part of the game. But the next match, it's going to be played between the players of Group B and Group C, and after this particular map, we'll see the introduction of the Group A in the Sanhok map. But hey, Miramar, always a perfect map to witness because I love this map. That's a simple answer. And hey, the fourth player is back. Johnny's back on stage.
Finally, he's one of the second most impactful player of the team in terms of the amount of frags that he gets. So yeah, it's going to be very crucial though. But it's basically like a warm-up game for him right now if you're really talking about it, right?
Alright.
But things are not really looking that very good for Soul. Still playing with just 3 members out here. Legit, Goblin, Knuckle, yeah, missing out on their 4th member. Rather, maybe it's Joker, it's rather not Knuckle out there. If Knuckle is not there, then who would be there, IGL? That's a big, great question coming in. But man, oh man, finally Phoenix, they're going to be back into the action as well. Not really playing the first one. Their healths were not really good, but this time they're going to hop back in now. If you have a look at the match ranking, Marcos Gaming, 23 total points coming in, 13 finishes, all thanks to the nade of Stone BGMI, and then the follow-up coming in with Superman and him moving up forward. But NoNx, again, Phoenix, this team is the one that has been consistently performing good.
Exactly, that is a very, very good factor for all the NoNx fans out there because we've been, we just saw that NoNx in the early stage, in the early weeks, they were struggling a little bit. But hey, we have the overall ranking, no change in the front page, the first page of this overall ranking. Still, Revenant X-Pack on top, 411 points. Hero Extreme Godlike on the 2nd, Orangutan on 3rd, and OnePlus Godsrin still on 4th. And Team Genesis Esports just 1 point away to topple down the players of Team Godsrain and get the bounty on their head. But this is the page where we are more excited because NoNx on the 11th position and OnePlus K9 Esports once again toppling down the players of Team AX and Team Aryan. Both the teams, they have similar amount of total points, but once again, just because of those finishes, you got the advantage.
If you're talking about finishes, right, there's a team that always performs out other than my G Loss Hermanos. This team being on that last page is something I was not really expecting, man. I mean, if you're really talking about week 1 and at least the starting of week 2, this team would always win their drop fights and they consistently would get the power play point. But then something happened, right? And I still remember it was their fight against the members of K9 in Severny.
Yeah.
And from then, it's basically like a chain reaction of them constantly losing their early drop fights. And that has basically resulted in them being pushed down all the way towards that 3rd page. But ladies and gentlemen, we're finally going to be pushed all the way up in the sky as the plane hits it on the deserty lands of Miramar. It's going to be one last game coming in for the members of Group B as they will still try and keep their spot in as it starts all the way down towards the east of Patona, moves all the way up towards Torre Ahumada. Yes, a light tilt over towards the eastern side, but it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, it is fine for all teams who just drop or tend to drop near the eastern side of the map, or maybe they just tend to drop near the southern and the northern side of the map. But for those teams who would love to go towards the western side, this is not the perfect playing path, but you can easily collect the vehicles and then you can just roam around and shoot yourself towards your favorite drop location. But I'm expecting some early fights, I'm expecting some early drop clashes. That is on my bingo list, but I would love to see which team will engage in those fights and which team will face an elimination in the early stage, in the early fights. But Phoenix, they are in the game, I'm on the desk, and I'm expecting them to perform good.
Necro has been expecting that for the past 2 weeks.
It's Necro. There's a difference between him and me.
Huge difference, I would have to say.
God.
But
You don't know. Brother, I was not expecting that. But hey, the drop for Phoenix is 4th Parachute. They're heading towards that particular location. OnePlus Godsrain, yeah, Impala has been their drop location. So they are heading towards that too. But I can see some interesting positioning by the players of Team Orangutan and Team Hero Extreme Godlike.
I know what you'd really want to focus down on, but trust me, it's not happening. It's absolutely fine. Godlike, they're all the way down south, just a bit north towards Partona while Hoji, they're going to move back over towards Chumasera. Not a big problem coming in. The circle could definitely create some if there was anyone who would have wanted to go all the way towards the other parts of the map. But mostly we've sometimes seen some aggressive plays, or rather at least some drop clashes all the way towards San Martin or Hacienda del Petron. But none of that is happening as of now though. But some members of 8-bit, they're close by to the members of K9, and K9 have not been having a good start.
Especially in Miramar, we tend to see that they struggle on this particular map. I don't know why, I don't know how. They should, really patch things up. But look at the players of Team Genesis. In fact, apologies, Team Global Esports. They kind of sharing a drop location with one another team, and I would love to see which team is that.
G and Soul probably?
Oh, there is a huge possibility, and yes, that is going to be Team Global Esports versus Team Soul. Manya, he will love to take this battle in his own hands, and yes, he certainly will. Manya takes down 2 with that mutant, and this player looks unstoppable in this position. Spray God takes down another man, and that's the end, ladies and gentlemen. Before Soul can even just understand what just happened, they faced an elimination from this lobby, from this map. 3 players, all of them are done.
XIGL of the lineup now performing as well. Global Esports did not get the start they wanted in the previous one. But on this Miramar, they're definitely going for the exact same. There's also a commotion that might happen all the way towards Campo Militar, and that might be Marcos Gaming up close to the members of NINZA. And if that comes to fruition, Genesis will eventually decide to move all the way back to them. But the main attention is going to be towards the members of 4TR. Up close, Revenant X Park. We have seen that RNTX have basically been on a streak of victory constantly. All thanks to Fierce and Trey Scott doing the heavy lifting in terms of those frags as well. Sensei being the brains behind all of that. You've got Fury as well. Long time back, I still remember this man used to play under the banner of Kemin Esports. That time as well, he used to perform out. But is the Campo Militar duel which we were talking about, NINZA being caught off guard though, but it's Superman instantly claimed as well. Dragon answers back, and this man has been breathing fire like Boro breath of Kaido since the previous game.
NINZA looking solid. NINZA took their revenge in an instant. And now Team Marcus Gaming, they need to understand that you are pinned down inside this stage, inside this particular stadium. And yep, once again Poco found another opening. Gyro God has been dropped down. Poco will try to secure another frag, and look at the spread from the players of Team NINZA. Slowly initially Beard Baba closing in the distance, spots out another player, and he can easily pins it down. The players, he will do that. Just tank some of the damage, and now instantly repositioning himself, dodging that grenade. But Dragon, one of the perfect weapon, Mini 14 in his hands with the 6 times, spots of the player, and yes,
again,
Naughty, that's the end for him it seems. Marcus Gaming losing out another important player.
Yeah, that's not really him surviving whatsoever. And you've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds to try and hunt down your prey. NINZA, they absolutely want revenge. Just last 2 members remaining. The M249 in the hands of Stone. The UMP45 in the hands of Gyro God. I'm not quite sure how they'd be able to win this one though. The only good thing working for them is that Beard Baba has got Thompson SMG. Not really the best for that long range duel.
But still a viable weapon in this situation. Both the players, both the teams, they don't have the perfect loadout out here. And look at that Gyro God. He doesn't even have a helmet and a vest. So I think Thompson will definitely work. True damage will work in his favor. Eventually he has that UMP. But I think so. I have a different opinion related to that. Collecting some more ammo for himself.
The main thing now.
Yeah.
What will NINZA do? Would they want to try and push the issue further?
They should.
They should, but again, some unknown positions, maybe a couple of shotguns, and things can turn really disastrous for you. And we saw that in the previous game. When there were a couple of members trying to take some of those early fights. Eventually destroyed.
Yeah.
Those are some few things which we always talk about. Maybe it was TWOB themselves who took those early fights right now as Stone. His position is revealed up. Just a vehicle drive-by spotting all of them. The longer this goes, the worse it's going to get for them, because even Genesis are now deciding to hop into the party and maybe ruin it for both of these teams.
You still got 150 on the clock. The power play is still on, and you can even convert these lads into some double points. It can help you to climb up the ladder, because NINZA right now on the 17th position. On the other side, Marcus Gaming there on 12th. Another fight which we were witnessing was in Los Leones against the players of Marcus Gaming. And 40R for now. NINZA charging in. Dragon OP missing all his shots. The Uzi worked. We were talking about Thompson and UMP, but we forgot about this deadly weapon. What? Uzi is the answer. Stone BGMS, Stone Cold with his SMG, getting the whole squad of NINZA. That's the way you should reply, and in just 20 seconds, he wrapped up the fight, and now they can move forward for some more frags. What a way. Yep, we got jumbled up, and he showcased that that's the way you can utilize that Uzi, but look at the position of IMF God. He has that height advantage scared. He looks solid though. The only problem is, it seems Revenant X Park understood, and they know that where INF God is. Yeah, they certainly know that.
Yeah, they absolutely know it, but I'm not quite sure if they've got the weaponry to try and punish him. UMP 45, yes, it's Trace God. I mean, you know what? I'm going to take that back. He will punish him.
In an instance, yeah?
It's Trace God, dude. You don't doubt Trace God.
Never count him out.
I'm saying that from the start of this year, that Trace God has been an impeccable performer. All the way back when he was under the banner of Wild Fangs as well. Surviving through all of that, now moving up in the lineup of Revenant X Park. He has been playing with Sensei for quite a long time now. And we've seen him in the most wicket player list as well.
No
Holy
way.
smokes, Mad Kings. They're going to be super happy about this one.
Look at the blue zone. Team Hero Extreme Godlike still stuffing the blue. Global Esports still near La Cabrera. El Pozo being acquired by the players of Team 8-Bit. And they are so far away, approximately 2,000 or maybe more than that. That's the difference they have to cover. And I don't know how they're going to do that. Because scared if they take the southern route, they might face a lot of teams. And 4TR, they haven't left Los Leones yet. And it seems like Revenant X Park, they understood the depthness of the situation. They left instantly. All the fears, he's still there. Pain his life got spotted by none other than Fury himself and knocks him down.
It's a big problem coming in for 4TR right now, as they'll be tanking in the blue, and this blue will deal the damage as well. It's a bit of a problem coming in. 4TR holding their own position up right now. But Goten on the other end from Phoenix.
Yeah.
He's actually answered back again. This man missed out a day. Phoenix were playing with 3 members. Necro was constantly mentioning how Goten has been one of the big key players out there, though Sensei coming back onto this fight. Revenant X Park still in the advantage. It could have been brought back in their own favor further, but that's not really happening right now. Still got a couple of knocks. Z-God riding onto that camel. No horses out here. I really wanted to say a yee-haw, but it's fine.
No. Okay. You'll get a chance in the next map. Don't worry.
I've only got one chance till now since the...
I think so. We'll not give you the next map, scared.
BGMS Season 4 started. It's fine. We still have some horses on Erangel. I'd probably get another chance out here. But will Stone get another one is the big question.
Nope.
Out there, up in the open, this commotion which I was talking about, Genesis with a third party. They're finally bringing it. It's been a bit too late though, but there is an opportunity for them to claim some couple of points.
The problem is, Genesis, they haven't found that opening they wanted. Yeah, you knocked out Stone, but you still got to figure out how you're going to eliminate Gyro God. The answer is yes. Let's barge in right in front of him. Whole squad of Team Genesis. The blue is taking a lot of damage. Gyro God, this grenade could be good, and he lobbed it instantly. Gyro God shuts down Yash, and now he knows that one more grenade can do the job. Gravity is trying his level best. Zap the grenade once again. Gyro God, is that the elimination of the whole squad for now? No, you still gotta find one more player. Gravity is still surviving, and Gyro God, he is looking fabulous in this situation.
Absolutely got an opportunity right now. Gyro God moving up close and personal with the DBS. Still does not want to risk jumping in. Holy smokes. This is an absolute beast like Macro coming in for him. But on the other end, that's also a smart player. You know what's happening out. Up close, pump shotgun. versus the DPS. Who's going to win it? The TPP advantage right now as the player moves up top. Still super close. This could turn anywhere. But it's Gravity to win it out for his team. And at least save them from the embarrassment as another circle forms. That means the knock players are not getting back up on their feet.
He has to save himself first and then he can just move forward. Oh my god, that fight. Marcus Gaming stealing the show once again, unable to just confirm the final frags, but still managed to get some of them. And yeah, Phoenix Esports, that's the end for them. Goten, he just got eliminated instantly, and we can see that another elimination. That's the confirmation right there. Phoenix Esports unable to deliver. A bit of a sad moment for all the fans out there, but hey, you gotta work out. You have to get some more frags, you have to get some more points if you want to climb up the ladder. And now scared, the circle is more brutal. Because the terrains around Al Hazar are really tricky to take control of. Very uneven by the way.
Yeah.
And it will create a lot of ruckus, and I would love to see how the teams will play. Hero Extreme Godlike, they're still in the blue, they're still taking a lot of damage. 8-bit haven't entered inside the safe zone yet. OnePlus K9. Slug heard those vehicles. He knows the players are close. But the problem is, Global Esports, they got the blood already, and they are hunting for some more.
Because 6 points is not going to cut it. They're still at the 10th spot, and it's almost turning into a 70-point gap between them and the 4th placing team.
Yeah.
50 right now. Could be racked up instantly, right? But since we're talking about those differences, it's almost a 100-point difference, right? K9 have been on this struggling end for such a long time now. Necro was mentioning in the previous one as well that even though K9, yeah, they might remain in the top 12 if they've got a couple of good games, but we're not quite sure as to what's going to happen to them in the grand finals. That's been a bit of a issue that they've got to deal with. But the main issue is Atanki. Man has been insane from the previous game. Form absolutely impeccable. Wants to try and fire a few shots. Stray Squad was already taken down. Fury's been taken down on the other side of Revenant X Park. They're being fired from two different directions. It's OG from one side. It's Godlike from the other. They've got absolutely no way to survive as the entirety of them get claimed up and deleted, but no bounty claimed as it was divided between two teams.
Ooh, that was a sad thing for the players of Team Orangutan. They were looking out for some major points so that they can topple down the players of Team Revenant X Park, because they are on the one. They're the one who are on the first position. But for now, Hero Extreme Godlike, the grenade is good from Admino, but not perfect. Team iQOO 8-bit. They thought that they can easily enter inside the circle, but it doesn't look that good. Admino with the spray, even with the grenade. But the reply from Espar is just so good, and he's still surviving. Jonathan out in an open, expecting to provide some cover, but that's not enough. They got some frags, and now it all comes down to these two lads, Punk and Johnny.
OG.
Meanwhile, OG backstab and did a third party, and they are collecting all the frags out there. 8-bit instant elimination. And you can clearly see the finishes number. 6 total frags in Orangutan's name, and AKOP about to collect the 7th one, and yes, he did.
Be able to take that one as well. Just as you mentioned, being stolen away from the other side, those shots not really being connected, but what a play from AK! He waits up, goes behind the cover, waits for Punk to hit the reload and destroy Godlike. OG are bouncing back, and they just need to find one more to get that bounty as they see where Jonathan is!
No!
And he blows himself apart! Not wanting to give them a bounty as he stands in front of them.
They got 2 chance scared! They lost both of him. Oh no, feeling bad for Team Orangutan. They were about to finish the players of Team Revenant X Park, and then they thought they can hunt down the players of Team Godlike. Johnny outsmarted him.
You want me to rage bait everyone?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Right, alright. So for...
Don't ask me. Do whatever you can, man. Don't drag me in. Whatever you want to do. Okay?
Just to rage bait out here, right? And I know Necro is going to say that this was a calculated decision coming in. We'll talk about that right now as K9 A bit on a struggling end, though.
They're backing off.
Absolutely. They'll have to run away from this fight. They've already lost a couple of members, and this is global esports we're talking about. You cannot take the fight against them. GE, again, bringing themselves back, getting 5 finishes already. Mad Kings, they've been left quiet for such a long time now. I really want to see them pull their socks up too. Genesis, they were able to bring both of their players back up on their feet too. That's a bit lucky, I'd have to say, considering the amount of damage Blue was doing. They'll still be able to at least take the fight, but Hunters is not with them.
Unfortunate for the players of Team Genesis as he controls a major amount of frags. I think so that was what, 39% or something? Contribution, the Finns contribution. But for now, Gravity, he needs to contribute again, but unable to do that. That pump shotgun was not that reliable as he thought it was. Spray God managed to take down another player, and now it is a very uneven fight for the players of Team Global Esports. In fact, apologies, it's for Genesis because they lost one more player, Zap, fighting for his life, praying so that they can just leave him away. But I don't think so that's happening at all. Spray God able to finish him off to 7th frag for the players of Team Global Esports. And now they have taken control of the northeastern side of the map, northwestern side of the map. The circle, where the circle will move. Also, you can expect another fight in favor of the players of Team OnePlus K9, though eventually they lost 2 of their players. And let's take a look at the replay, how iQOO managed to get those frags. He will do good with the spray, and Jonathan just eliminating himself. And just look at him, he's smiling, he's laughing, he knows what he did.
I'm not going to rage bait anyone, it's fine.
Hey, come on, man. I was waiting for that.
I'm not going to pull that. It's okay.
Yeah. Coward.
Exactly what I wanted to say.
No way.
To you.
To me.
For trying to rage bait me into that, but
yeah,
here we go. Here we go. Hey, listen, there's the thing, right? As much as I would have wanted him to stay and fight for the team,
and it is a bit. I have, you know what? I'll definitely say he did the best thing.
Absolutely.
Jonathan did the best thing possible, blowing him up away. Because you don't want to give anyone your bounty.
You would specifically not want to give OG a lead. That becomes difficult for you
so
to
I think
capture.
so. Jonathan did the perfect job.
But here we go.
But now, Kalyug. He got an opportunity to do the perfect job for himself and for his team, but right now, being silent is the answer. Or maybe not.
How would you answer if you're silent?
Sign language.
I wish I didn't ask that question right now, but
yeah. That's Kalyug for you.
Moving all the way back. Mad Kings having the high ground for themselves.
Mad Kings were in the circle like from the start, right? They dropped near Al-Azhar and they got the best control of the map. But how many frags do they got? Dude, that's it. Oh, iQOO, not a perfect smoke. Not the best smoke.
But it's absolutely fine. They've still got God's Rain in front of them. They've been becoming the God Slayers, let's be honest. iQOO still absolutely fine. No chip damage being dealt onto him as he still tries to gatekeep the rest of the members too. Don't really want to overstay out here. There are a couple of members. Justin moves all the way down as well. Up in front with DPS. AK goes in for a tactical retreat with his team right now. But if you're really out there, people, and you want to watch the game of OG, since they're the only team available right now, you can have that multicam feature that's on Jio Hotstar. And exclusively on Jio Hotstar. Every other team they've been eliminated. But it's absolutely fine. We've still got 2 of them that will play for the next 2 games as well. So you can have a watch of their games later on too. Right now as Justin is going to fall all the way back down. Crowd just at the very edge. OG right next to the members of God's Rain. But OG have got a lot of real estate to work with. And no one is really there to contest that at all. Because most of the cluster, if you're looking at it, is over towards the northeastern side.
Yeah, that is getting bigger. The cluster is getting bigger. All the teams, they are moving towards the northeastern side. And that is a strange thing. I think so. All the IGLs, they are thinking the circle might move towards that particular area. But Shadows with his grenade unable to deliver. It was there, but a bit far away. Eventually, he tanked more damage than he can, dish out. Kalyug, also that's the end. Slug will able to, just shut him down, scared. And NoNx takes about that's the end for them where the circle will move. We'll just confirm that in just 3 seconds. And hey, it's a central shift. Mad King with a mad rotation from the side of Shadow in the squad. Clutch God. He can make sure that they can control this terrain for the longest time. INF God being challenged by the players of Team TWOB, but Pokar, he was trying to call out his teammates, but too late. INF God instantly finishes him off. Top 7 for the players of OTR.
Big question marks coming in from the decision-making of TWOB. It's just one player of INF God, or rather for OTR.
Oh, grenade, beautiful.
They still did not decide to go in for a full fight, and they're still giving the 1v1s to him. Not a big fan of that right now, considering INF God is a player that's got a nasty capabilities of winning this one fight.
Pulls the pin out, try to bait out the player, and he was successful in that. And look at that! A miniature mind play! Outplayed his opponent. INF God collecting more frags.
And now Vishu will decide to join in the fight as well. One after other is what they've decided right now. But on the other end of the fray, Vishu will just be destroyed by Manya from behind. And yeah, it's an unfortunate play coming in for their side though. But the same thing could be said for OG as they lose 2 members. Destro finally, he's going to be brought down on his feet. A bit of an answer coming in from the Aves, but it is not enough. Into the covers is when you will give him the revive. And Atanki out in the open. OG have got 8 finishes. Just like in the previous game right now. The only different thing is they will get at least 2 position points. And it's Mad Kings who are also joining in the fray from the far end. They are knocking down the members of God's Reign too. And guess what? OG ended up being in their crosshairs as well. It's down to just one last member. Will God's Reign decide to go for the pounce? It's the question.
I think so. It's better they just pass themselves up and then, just move forward with the fight. Meanwhile, INF God, he got eliminated and 4TR takes an elimination. But meanwhile, we can see a push from the side of Team God's Reign. Delta leading the back. Atanki was not able to get a revive. Delta, meanwhile, once again making sure this team will get the final frag. And yes, that's none other than Neo collecting the final frag and eliminating Orangutan from this particular server. But Mad Kings, they weren't prepared for Global Esports push.
A big point is right now, God's Reign eventually got the bounty of OG. That is a big play coming in for their side. A massive boost that's going to push them up into the ranking itself. And right now it's going to be again God's Reign, Mad Kings and Global Esports taking the fight against each other as Apollo has been blown apart. Are the answers back? It's going to be claimed as well. Troy does that job. And it's going to be a pinch maneuver. God's Reign behind the members of Mad Kings as they're out in the open. Delta will get another knock onto them. Mad Kings, a game which was supposed to be theirs to take. They're dropping like flies one after another.
And now Shadow all alone on his own. And maybe I'll say he was alone. Because that's the end. Spray God finishes him off and collects the final frag. Top 3 in which Team Global Esports looking rock solid. All the players alive. They got the height advantage. Eventually, they also got the control of the safe zone. Team OnePlus God's Reign, they have to make sure that once they decide that they will move inside the circle, they have to be very rigid with their decision. 35 seconds on the clock. Scared. It's looking a little bit deadly and also favoring the players of Team Global Esports. Meanwhile, Ninja Boy and Slug, the 2 star players from OnePlus K9 squad, they are also there in the server and they are trying to at least surprise the players of Global Esports. But for now, silent. 15 more seconds for the next blue to move.
I already made my prediction out here.
Oh, you did? Alright, I can see that. But it's a safe bet. Come on, Scared.
It's not really a safe bet because
it is. You got the man advantage, you got the circle.
Exactly my point. That's the reason why it's my prediction. If something else happens, then that's going to be surprising for both of us right now. But one good thing that's happened for K9 is the fact that at least they have managed to survive for such a long time.
Yeah.
All the way up in the top 3, at least they're going to get some position points out of this one. But big question is, how will God's Reign decide to breach into the circle?
No idea.
They can't go and take the road through the city. They can't really go from up north. They will have to try and push from this very part. And the terrain does not favor you to drive vehicles very fast. It's very rigid. You're going to have a lot of problems if you would really want to go in for any kind of pushes onto the members of GE. And Spray God is feeling himself.
He certainly is doing the same thing. 12 frags for the players of Team Global Esports. They're waiting for their prey to arrive. OnePlus God's Ray in the blue is pushing them to just move forward. 312 points already for the players of Team Global Esports, and looking forward now to collect some more. 27 seconds on the clock. Manya spots out another player, and that is none other than the IGL himself.
Good cover.
Provided some good amount of cover, and Manya! He's knocked out! That's worst, but the grenade works in favor of Global Esports. Spray God! Another one, and hey! That's the finisher!
It's a Hail Mary play coming in for their side right now. It's a big play. Global Esports almost dropping the ball, but they're still holding on. They're still standing strong as Spray God will get another one. It's all down to just one member, and that is Neo, the man who was trying to provide the cover. You've got all the position of every single one of them as Global Esports will regain their numbers advantage. They will try and bring themselves back now. The information is being shared about where Slug is going in. Ninja Boy will try to make his move on the member, or rather the last remaining member of Global Esports, Troy. Eventually figuring out where Slug was so that it's not a surprise. But guess what? Adi's been taken down. That is an absolute disaster for Global Esports. This could eventually ruin their game. They're losing their formation. They're trying to hold on, but they're losing the members.
And now they have to shift their momentum towards a different team. K9 Esports, they are still in the game. Neo,
2v2.
He has been confirmed, and yes, it's a perfect 2v2. OnePlus K9 can easily snatch this chicken. Ninja Boy spotted. The grenade is in his hands. Lopped perfectly. Another one. That was a smoke, and hey! Ninja Boy confirms Spray God. Team Global Esports, they have been pinned down behind that ridge. But it's a perfect 2v2 for the players of K9 Esports.
The covers are absolutely there though, but Ninja Boy is still trying to go in for a flank. Maybe he can try and find some vision though. But Troy's attention, it's been taken away. He's still trying to spot Slug. He's still trying to fight him. It's a straight up 1v1 coming in, and Manya needs to play it smart. He needs to play it safe. They don't have Spray God remaining right now. 6 finishes for the dude, as again the nade parade will go. But it's not really in the right direction. That one smoke which Slug dropped in, it's creating that confusion. Manya will need to stay alive, as again they will be pushed by the blue first. K9 have got this chicken dinner if they play their cards accordingly.
There's a huge if they do that.
But they've got the massive advantage
They
right
certainly
now.
got it now. Ninja Boy with the frag. He got the knockout there, Troy. It all comes down to him. And now both the players just charging in onto him, and I think so that's the end. Meanwhile, Ninja Boy, that's a risky drop because Manya, in fact, he was still providing the information to Troy, but now that's the end.
It should be the end right now as Troy still over towards the edge. He will be forced by the blue as Slug and Ninja Boy, both of them have got their crosshairs right onto him. An 8 parade still going on out there. Troy, can you pull a rabbit out of your hat? Can you try and surprise every single one of us? Can you stand under the banner which has been rising high for such a long time? The one that picked up the very first trophy of this entire franchise. Troy has been known to make clutches like this happen, but this one long nade is picture perfect as Slug and Ninja Boy work in unison to give K9 Esports a much needed victory.
They destroyed Global Esports when they thought that the biggest problem was in God's reign, but they forgot about K9. K9, so good. And now, no celebration as such as we expected. Still, it was a good end. Slug and Ninja Boy making sure they will crush the players of Global Esports. And by the way, your prediction too.
That's one thing. But I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine with K9 ruining it. Because this was an absolute bad play coming in from him. That one great shot. All the other fray. That was one of the big things coming in, right? But hold on, ladies and gentlemen. There's an interview coming in, so we're going to send it down onto the stage just so Surain can ask the questions.
जिन्होंने हमें कुछ टाइम पहले बोला था कि वो टॉप 4 में फिनिश नहीं करना चाहते, 5th से 12th पोजीशन पे खत्म करना चाहते हैं अपना ये स्टेज, सडनली अब चिकन डिनर उठाना आदत सी बना ली है। क्या स्ट्रैटेजी जो है भूल गए हो क्या?
कहाँ, अभी सेकंड चिकन डिनर ही तो आया है, बट ठीक है कोई बात नहीं। अब अच्छा गया मैच, हमने तो सोचा था वापस 0 पॉइंटर गेम जाने वाला है लास्ट मैच की तरह, बट ठीक है, अच्छा हमें जोन फेवर भी मिल गया है एंड काफी लास्ट में मैंने और निंजा ने अपनी डुओ पार्टनरशिप दिखा दी।
भाई काफी देर से आप लोग एक 2-man लाइनअप थे and yet you managed to pick up the chicken dinner. How did you cook it?
हाँ मतलब ठीक था, हमें लग रहा था क्योंकि जैसे ऊपर फाइट्स वगैरह हो रही थी, हमें थोड़ा इन्फो वगैरह मिल गया था क्योंकि हम लोग शांति से बैठे थे, वो लोग पूरा घूम रहे थे, तो उनको पता नहीं चल रहा था हमारा नीचे हम क्या कर रहे हैं। तो एंगल्स हमने बना लिए थे, मैंने और निंजा ने, तो एक साइड से वो और एक साइड से मैं पूरा रैप अप करते आ गए।
देखो, एक ही चीज को देखने के 2 नजरिए हैं। ये भी बोल सकते हैं कि इसमें अच्छा किया है, सो मे बी दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस दैट यू एक्सपेक्ट। पिछले मैच में बहुत ही खराब परफॉर्मेंस थी, बट हाउ डिड यू बाउंस बैक? जब पिछला मैच इतना बुरा गया, देन वक्त तो बहुत कम होता है जस्ट टू ब्रिंग अबाउट द टर्न अराउंड।
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, इतने टाइम से हम खेल रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई हम न्यू टीम है, बहुत टाइम से खेल रहे हैं, बहुत बारी स्टेज पे आए, तो प्रेशर और ये वाली जो चीज़ है, कोप अप वाली चीज़, वो बहुत अच्छे से हम लोग हैंडल करते हैं। अगर एक मैच खराब भी गया, 2 मैच भी खराब गए, फिर भी हमें पता है कि 3rd मैच कैसे कन्वर्ट करना है नॉल। तो बाकी कुछ नहीं, बाकी हमारे कोच आए थे, तो कोच मेरे को बोले क्या कर रहा है, कुछ कर तो बोला करते हैं नेक्स्ट गेम, तो अभी कर दिया।
स्टिल टॉप 4 या 5th to 12th?
आई गेस अब टॉप 4 के लिए अपन जाना चाहेंगे, बहुत हो गया अब मजाक मस्ती, और अब सीरियस हो चुके हैं हम लोग भी, तो अब पूरा टॉप 4 के लिए एम है, और ज़्यादा हमने देखा कट ऑफ है नहीं, जस्ट 70-80 पॉइंट्स का गैप है, और वो हो सकता है पूरा, क्योंकि बहुत सारी टीम्स यहाँ पे 50-50 पॉइंट्स भी निकाले एक गेम में, तो कोई इम्पॉसिबल जैसी कोई चीज़ नहीं है, बट हम पूरा ट्राई करेंगे एंड अपना बेस्ट देंगे।
Kenan bringing out their teeth. They've got the bite. Chicken dinner हुआ इनका. We'll be back after the break.
He was taken too soon. I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, 0 stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
You forgot to charge your phone. Why won't you wake
हम बिगिनिंग हमेशा नहीं था स्टार यूसी लेने से पहले सोचता था 100 बार डर था बड़ा स्कैम्स का डाउट थे 1000 तो प्ले ओपी आया तो लगाई नया पर तो मैंने लिया यूसी सेव गेम किया रेस ले मेरे साथ यहाँ ड्रॉप से कम हार्ड प्ले तेरे साथ ओपी तू भी कर ले स्टार्ट
Welcome back after that short break, and it seems like today's day has been absolutely action-packed. Watching that action between God's Reign and Global Esports. Usually you expect Global Esports to kick things off in quite a great fashion in the game one, but then it was not Global Esports to do so, but in the second game, definitely we saw a great performance from them.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, they eventually took Seoul down when they got a drop clash. By the way, I missed this. I missed this particular thing. Your action, awesome, beautiful. Just like the way Team K9 played, you know, that the composure, the control you need whenever you were in a deficit. You were facing a team who had all the players alive, and eventually you also had Team God's Reign, but they managed to get the chicken dinner out. But I still have a lot of questions in my mind. First of all, 4TR, they had a very lengthy battle against the players of Team Revenant X-Pac, and it didn't help them a lot. And have got managed to take down, what, 2 players, I think, so of TWOB, and that's the only, fight we saw from 4TR's side.
I mean, look, at this point in time, 4TR is one of those teams that is doing quite decent in the overall standings. Yeah, they do need a consistent point flow in the overall tally, and if they do not keep on getting those consistent points, we might just see them slowly and steadily fade away. And I'm pretty sure 4TR is trying their best to get that consistency up. But for now, let's have a look at the MVP of that previous game. It's going to be Spray God from Global Esports with 6 finishes racked up and 40% finish contribution. Whenever Global Esports is the one to get inside of the main fray, you will always see Spray God being the main playmaker and the MVP.
And once again, if we talk about the best companion, it's none other than Global Esports. Adi managed to pick up 3 rescues, 3 players, and also provide 2 assists. But eventually, it was Slug take the things down and eventually getting the final frag. And the grenade was so good, Necro. He was just cooking to its perfection. And this, when he lobbed, he was like, yeah, that's the end. And that's the way you are just going to secure the chicken dinner. But one more fact, no celebration from the side of Team K9. Omega was too silent and the whole squad.
I mean, look, Omega knows this is not K9 Esports' true potential. K9
yeah, I
Esports
agree.
is supposed to be around the top 4 no matter what. There's supposed to be someone who are untouched in the competition, but still K9 Esports, they have been going through a lot of thick and thins, and it's not something you expect from a banner like K9 Esports at the end of the day. You talk about Beast, Ninja Boy, Slug, all these guys, they go all the way back, and these are probably some of the best players out there, mechanically I'm speaking of. But still, something is lacking in K9 Esports. We're seeing that discontinuation between the players. We're not seeing that consistency from K9 Esports, and that's also causing a lot of problems for them. And even inside of the highlights, you can clearly see in the final few moments, it was K9 Esports, Global Esports. Even God's Reign was a part of that, but K9 Esports played that perfectly well, showcasing the patience, waiting for the right moment to strike. In the final few moments, when they knew Global Esports was hurt, that's when they went for that strike.
But how many points do they got after this particular game? That's the number. It's going to be 16. And still God's Reign and Global Esports surpassing the team who got the chicken dinner because God's Reign managed to get the bounty of the players of Orangutan, if I'm not wrong. 20 total points. That's a heavy number. Team Orangutan tried to punish Team Revenant X-Pac. They were trying to get their bounty, and then they thought that they can finish off the players of Team Godlike. They were unable to do that. But eventually God's Reign, they just got one chance, and they were like, you know what? That's the way you collect the bounty.
Of course, it's quite a solid performance from them, but you want to know why K9 Esports was not celebrating about the chicken dinner. Well, that's the answer right there. Right. Even though they got a chicken dinner, still on the 3rd spot in the match rankings, which is not a good look, but still at least they've got a decent bit of points. And in the overall standings, it's definitely going to help K9 Esports to propel themselves in the top 12, and that is going to be the main goal for the teams. The top 4, once again, pretty much the same, consistently maintaining their average and their spot, but God's Reign is slowly and steadily taking leap now.
Slowly and steadily, that is the best part, because now they are eyeing out for the first spot. Hero Team Godlike, alright, a very, not the perfect performance we expected from their side, but you can see a lot of changes on the second page. Global Esports bouncing back and taking the 9th position and stealing that from the players of Team Crore, Marcus Gaming once again stepping in the right direction, and OnePlus K9 Esports managed to shut down 4TR official, and yup, they have to do something. Matt Kings also getting some good points for them, but in the next map, Necro, we can see the groups will change.
Of course they will change, right? And the real concerns are over here on the last page. It's a real problem. If you're someone on the last page, you better start taking the advantage of the bonus cards that are given to you. Start taking advantage of the power play. Start taking advantage of the bounty teams out there as well. Go for those drop clashes. Go for those points. Because today, and today is pretty much the day one of the final week, which means no more chances will be given to you after this if this week ends, and you're also going to move on towards playoffs where you will only have 4 games to prove yourself and make a comeback. And let's be honest, there's a lot of those teams, even in BGCS, who deserves a slot over here in the BGMS Season 4. So there's so many deserving teams on the line. But something that you guys deserve is also the Duolingo English test, which is trusted by 6,000 plus universities worldwide.
Yeah. You know, I've taken a test by myself, and you know what? I got some good points, but we got some points on stage with Suren, and we got a special guest out there. So let's head on to the stage now.
तो डेस्ट्रो इस मैच में 3rd पोजीशन, उसी के ऊपर बाउंटी भी निकाली. ओवरऑल गुड परफॉर्मेंस, या आर यू स्टिल लुकिंग एट अ चिकन डिनर, क्योंकि 3-4 दिन हो चुके हैं उसको भी निकाले.
नहीं, आई थिंक बोथ द गेम्स शुड हैव बीन अ चिकन डिनर्स बिकॉज जोन अच्छा हमें मिला था, एंड वही एग्जीक्यूशन में थोड़ी मिस्टेक्स करी हमने. फर्स्ट गेम वॉज अ चोक फ्रॉम माई एंड. अभी सेकेंड मैच में ओवरऑल ही मिस्टेक करी हमने, बट कोई नहीं, वी आर डूइंग गुड एज अ टीम, सीख रहे हैं, एंड होपफुली बाय द टाइम फाइनल स्टार्ट होगा वी विल बी रेडी.
मुझे नहीं पता है हाउ मच यू हैव फॉलोड आवर स्क्रिप्चर्स, हमारा जो इंडियन माइथोलॉजी है. मुझे ना डेस्ट्रो से बात करके चाणक्य वाली फीलिंग आती है, बिकॉज तुम चक्रव्यूह भी घुमा रहे हो, तुम प्लानिंग भी कर रहे हो, तुम सब कुछ कर रहे हो. डेस्ट्रो, सो एज अ मास्टरमाइंड यू हैव प्लेड दिस टूर्नामेंट, आप इस टूर्नामेंट में सक्सेसफुल भी रहे हैं, आपने ट्रॉफी भी उठाई है. टेल मी, जिस तरीके से अब मैच दर मैच सारी टीमें यू नो दे ट्राई टू गिव द बेस्ट, लेकिन ये जो पॉइंट्स का सिस्टम है या जो बाउंटी की सिस्टम है, जो इम्पैक्ट सिस्टम है, जो वीकेंड पे आता है, टॉप 4 जाएंगे सीधा ग्रैंड फाइनल्स. इफ यू आर समवन हु इज लुकिंग एट दिस फ्रॉम द आउटसाइड, तो आप अपनी जैसी टीम को टॉप 4 में देखना चाहेंगे, और यू थिंक 5th से 12th पोजीशंस जो है उस पर आपका मोमेंटम बनता है?
नहीं, लाइक आई सेड, मेरे को 5th से 12th ही आना है. मेरे को टॉप 4 नहीं आना है, बिकॉज मोमेंटम टूट जाता है, वो जो ब्रेक मिलता है टीम्स को. एंड बिकॉज फाइनल में सिर्फ 3 ही दिन होंगे, 12 मैचेस होंगे, तो अगर आपका एक दिन भी खराब किया, मोमेंटम नहीं रहा, तो ट्रॉफी का सपना ही रह जाएगा. इसलिए मेरे को सेमीज खेलना है एंड मोमेंटम लेके जाना है एंड वो ट्रॉफी जीतनी है.
Alright, so this is something away from the game right now, and डेस्ट्रो की जो टीम है, गॉड्स रेन, डेस्ट्रो बहुत सारे एथलीट्स हैं, कुछ जो सुपरस्टार्स हैं, लेकिन इंटरनली मेरे जो खास दोस्त हैं जो जानते हैं कि टीम्स कहाँ पे रुकी हुई हैं, टीम्स क्या करती हैं, क्या नहीं करती हैं, everybody says that God's Reign is probably the most disciplined team. उनका discipline, उनकी punctuality काबिल तारीफ है, मिसाल है. How much of it is because of you?
नहीं, आई थिंक वही चीज़ गेम में रिफ्लेक्ट होती है. लाइक अभी भी हम लोग टाइम से उठते हैं, वी वर्कआउट एवरी डे, डाइट अच्छी लेते हैं, सोते सही से हैं, एंड वही चीज़ हम सबको गेम में देखने मिलती है, हेल्प करती है. एंड आई थिंक कहीं ना कहीं वो आउटसाइड द गेम बॉन्डिंग भी स्ट्रॉन्ग करती है हमारी एज अ टीम. एंड बस वही है, वी कीप इट सिंपल, ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट नहीं करते.
You could be playing on the mobile, you could be playing in a different world. What you do outside is what matters. Well said by Destro. We take a break and come back.
He was taken too soon. I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, 0 stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Within a few moments, the game of Sanhok will be putting up on the screen. But before we move on towards Sanhok, a huge shout out to OnePlus CE5 with 120 FPS gaming, monster battery, and segment's biggest VC cooling. This is one of the best devices you can get your hands on. And speaking of OnePlus, even the players sitting in the arena are currently playing on the OnePlus 13R. It is one of the best devices you can get your hands on as well. We've got today's matches and also the schedule popping up on the screen. As I mentioned, the upcoming map is going to be the map of Sanhok. And also, we will see a bit of that shuffle in the group now.
It certainly is, and now Group A and C will compete. F is getting stepping into the battle. Middle is there, reckoning Los Hermanos, AX Crew Rippers once again. It's going to be an incredible day, and I would love to see how victorious Sumus will play Ovace right in front of our eyes. An interesting and very, very OG player, right? Ovace,
of course.
Has that experience. He has that experience, and he always showcases that why that experience matters. But for now, we are unable to see him as well as his team in the first page. I would love to see that.
And I guess the main problem for that is because Victor Sumus does not really play aggressive.
Yeah.
This BGMS Season 4 is designed for you to play aggressive, so you can get those rewards at the same time as well. But if you're not someone who's playing aggressive, and if you're playing that passive playstyle, you will linger on the latter half of the board. I just hope at the end of this week, somehow Victor Sumus is able to climb on top and at least squeeze themselves in that top 12, because we might want to see them in the grand finals in the future. But if they do move on towards the playoffs, I will not guarantee Victor Sumus is going to make it to the grand finals.
Oh, it's definitely going to be really, really challenging for them, because once again, as just Destro mentioned, right, you need that momentum. You have to be pretty much prepared for every single battle, and I would love to see that how they will actually prepare for every single battle. In the previous match, 8-bit, they were good, they were looking decent, but once again, unable to get the extra advantage.
Exactly, but you guys can get the massive advantage in your hands. Spin and unlock the NoNx and Sinistra set, which is starting for just 10 UC. I mean, everyone's got a 10 UC lying around in their accounts, right? So you can just go ahead and get that spin done, and maybe you can be on the lucky side and get your hands on that beautiful NoNx and Sinistra set. But back towards the conversation that we're having, right? Mad Kings, they've played the first 2 games so far. Performance is lacking from them as well. I mean, Phoenix Esports, for some reason, they're not really part of these lobbies, which is kind of understandable since the players are not feeling good. But on the opposite side, about all the other teams, now is the time for them to start hammering down the lobby, especially if they're on the latter half of the board. I'm speaking of Group A, Los Hermanos. We saw an incredible performance from them, an incredible run from them in the week 1, but that transition towards the week 2 was completely bad.
It seems like they're lost. They're lost, and I think they're just fueled out. That's the only thing I just expect, and I think, because Los Hermanos in the early stage, I completely agree, and Skirmishes also mentioned the same point. They were looking rock solid, they were looking actually good, but after the second week, the start was not good, and after that one or maybe few fights, they lost the rhythm. Especially that can be said for the players of Likitha Esports too, because once again, they got the experience, they have that chicken dinner in the backpack too, but still, they are struggling on the third page. And it is going to be a really, really interesting match. How the players from Group A will perform. Because Group C, they already got the momentum, right? They've been playing 2 games already, and this is going to be their 3rd.
Yeah, pretty much. And for Group A, this is going to be the first game of the day. Yep. And in my opinion, if you're starting things off on the map of Sanhok, that is probably the worst possible start you can have. But hey, something you need to adjust with. Before now, let's move on towards a quick video we've got lined up of Jelly.
आपके करियर में सबसे बेस्ट लाइनअप कौन सा रहा है जो आपके फेस पे मुस्कुराहट ले आती है?
देखो, मुस्कुराहट तो आई ही है, और मतलब वो लाइनअप सबको पता भी, और मैं मतलब जहाँ भी जाता हूँ सबके सामने उस लाइनअप की तारीफ करता हूँ, उस और की तारीफ करता हूँ. वो OR Esports है, ऑरेंज रॉक. तो मतलब वहाँ पे बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंस था मेरा. DMPS पर हम लोग सेकंड आए थे, और जो भी टूर्नामेंट खेलते थे हमेशा फर्स्ट से क्वालिफाई करते थे, और हमेशा मतलब डोमिनेट करते थे उस टाइम पे. आरू आतंकी, मैं और आदित्य लाइनअप थी हमारी. तो OR का टाइम मतलब मैं भुला नहीं सकता, लाइफ का बेस्ट पार्ट रहा है अभी तक मेरे. क्या पता अभी शायद और कुछ बड़ा प्राइम आना हो, लेकिन वो वाला मेरा बेस्ट था. बहुत मजा आता था उस टाइम.
Jelly, of course, talking about his ex-teammates and talking about Aru and Athanki. Yeah. I mean, Aru and Athanki are together, but in OG. But Jelly's all by himself, separated from them in True Rippers. And nothing taken away from True Rippers. They're doing
Yeah.
extremely well. Jelly himself is doing a fantastic job of IJailing his team, and True Ripper's performance in the overall standings has been pretty good. Yes, they are going through a bit of those ups and downs, but still they're doing good.
Not some crazy flashy plays, but they've been consistent, right? And that's the perfect thing for Jelly and the whole squad, and for the fans too, because we love to see Jelly smile. We'd love to see whenever True Rippers tend to get those chicken dinner. Kiolamau is also one of the most important players for this team. But once again, Necro, high expectation, but in this game they have to deliver.
Let's just hope that the teams at the bottoms do start to perform. Before now, it's time for us to toss to a short break. You don't go anywhere. We'll be right back up with Sanhok.
What's the cheat code, bro?
No code.
So, a script then, or a bot?
No script.
All right, class, for today's lesson.
I already taught her something.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Sanhok will be booting up on the screens within a few moments, and I want everyone in the chat to lock in their predictions right now. Let me know which team you think will be the one to come out on top. We've got teams like Mad Kings and Hero Extreme Godlike in one lobby, and we all know what happens when these two teams are there. There will be a possible drop clash towards boot camp, which has been happening for a long time, but recently Mad Kings have been the one to dominate Hero Extreme Godlike in that drop fight.
Yeah, they were looking solid every single time whenever they get challenged in the boot camp, and that's the perfect thing for Mad King, because once again you're collecting those points in the power play, and those are just doubling up. The points are just doubling up in terms of the finishes you get in the boot camp, especially in the power play itself. But moving forward, as you just mentioned, which team, all the players, all the fans in fact are looking forward to will get the chicken dinner. In the previous map, by the way, we saw Genesis work close to topple down one team so that they can get the bounty on their head, but they're still on the 5th position. And hey, Slug, giving you all some love from his side. I think so that's enough for all the fans out there. But hey, K9s, the IGL, we gotta know that what's going in his mind.
Of course, man. I mean, K9's performance, it's quite up and down. Yeah, the previous game was a chicken dinner, so maybe you can't say they've got the momentum to play with in the upcoming game. But we never know if K9 Esports is going to be performing good or not, because they have been so ups and downs. There have been so many tipsy-turvy curves in K9 Esports' journey. And since we're speaking about K9 Esports, let's have a look at Omega's video.
जिस लाइनअप ने आपको फेमस बनाया वो तो अब गायब सा ही हो गया है। आपको कभी उनकी मेमोरीज आती है या वो लाइनअप के साथ वापस खेलने के बारे में सोचा है?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं। मतलब अच्छी यादें हैं, नो डाउट, बट जो बुरी यादें हैं वो बहुत ज्यादा बुरी हैं और मैं उनको वापस से नहीं जीना चाहूंगा, बिल्कुल भी नहीं। अगर मैं पास में जा भी पाऊं तो मैं वो चेंज कर दूंगा 100%।
प्रेजेंट में ऐसा क्या अच्छा चल रहा है जो पास्ट आपको इतना चुभ जाता है?
पास्ट मेरे को चुभता नहीं है, बस मैं ऐसा बात करना पसंद नहीं है मुझे। मतलब मैं उन चीजों को इतना इंपॉर्टेंस देता ही नहीं हूँ अपनी लाइफ में। प्रेजेंट पे फोकस करो, मेरी टीम है बहुत अच्छी है,
काइंड ऑफ जैसी मेरे को टीम चाहिए थी जिनको मैं अच्छे तरीके से मोल्ड कर सकूं, जिस तरीके से मेरे को खिलाना है, और ये सारे मेरी बात भी सुनते हैं. तो ये चीज़ आई थिंक मेरे को बहुत पहले कर लेनी चाहिए थी, बट इट्स ओके.
That was Omega, and of course a few choice words from the man saying that yes, he does miss the OG teammates, but there are a lot of bad memories with them, and he does not really want to be reminded of them, so that's why he hates talking about it. But at the same time, K9 Esports' performance, they're doing okay. On the 13th spot, now pretty much close to breaching inside of that top 12. And as long as K9 Esports is able to breach in that top 12, that's all that matters, right? And they're not too far away. One more good game, they can easily do it. But for now, it's time for Sartos to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, zero stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Unlock BGMI's new gold spin starting at just 10 UC. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Sanhok, since it's such a zone-oriented map, you always have a lot of questions in your mind. Who will it favor this time, and who will be extremely unlucky? And we have seen both the things happen over and over again in the map of Sanhok. And sometimes we've also seen teams who does not even prioritize the zone still somehow come out on top. Things can be unpredictable on this map, and of course Sanhok is supposed to be one of the trickiest map out there because it has that unpredictable aura in it. Yeah. Sometimes even the zone, it's quite confusing. You never know if it's going to be shifting towards the Camp Alpha Island, if it's going to be shifting towards the boot camp vicinity, if it's going to be shifting all the way down south. There's so many possible nukes and crannies the circle can play the game on, and that is why Sanhok sometimes can be extremely confusing and also outplaying.
And that's the only map which, just push you so that you can showcase your fullest, your 100% performance, because it is certainly filled with those random stuff, and especially with those challenging rotations, the circle, as well as the terrains. But for now, I think the players, they are ready. I hope all the fans, they are out ready too, because we would love to see this group change the pause right in the game. How much this will affect the momentum in the previous map of Miramar. Its K9 squad snatched the chicken dinner from the side of the players of Global Esports. But once again, it is looking deadly. But hey, we'll patch things up as soon as possible. We'll be right back after a very short break.
break. And hopefully it is actually going to be the last break itself before we move on towards Sanhok. And yes, apparently that was the last break, since we've already got the calls that the plane's now going to be hitting the skies off Sanhok, starting all the way from Camp Alpha towards the opposite side, which is Kampong. And this time around, the plane fly path, once again, is perfect for anyone if they do want to go anywhere on this map. And once again, Sanhok, it just reminds me of that one memory where Reckoning Esports was able to snatch their first ever chicken dinner away on that Paradise Resort. But hopefully this time around, Reckoning Esports once again performs better.
We'll hope that too, because once again, this is also one of the team who is struggling on the third page, Necro, and that's not good, especially the squad Reckoning has. But for now, you can see the players already moving towards their favorite side. Beast so far away from the back. We talk about OnePlus Kena. Ninja Boy took control of the Temple. Omega so far away, so as well as Slug. But hey, you can already see the cluster towards the center of the map. The players have been fanning out. Paradise Resort being targeted by the Blizzard team. Genesis already in a fight, being panned instantly towards the boot camp. The players of Mad Kings, they suffered. Shadow lost his life, so as Apollo and Sam for the save. Shuts down Max and Clutch Cord. One more bullet could have done the job, but nah, it was not that perfect. This is a fight in power play. Both the teams suffered some loss, and it's time to heal themselves up.
Mad Kings, I mean, at least as of now, it seems like they've got the advantage on paper. Reckoning Esports, they almost messed up big time. And as I mentioned a while ago, the moment we see the map of Sanhok boot up, I get reminded of that one memory where Reckoning Esports got their first ever chicken dinner towards Paradise Resort. But this time, in boot camp, their graves will be established if they do not play well enough. Mad Kings, they're on the verge of wiping them out, but Reckoning Esports, it does seem like they've got a solid shot at maybe winning this entire fight. And even inside of the elimination feed, you do see 4TR getting absolutely dismantled by the hands of Genesis Esports, and they actually wipe him out completely from this game. Genesis Esports, they're making sure that the players of 4TR will start to face the wrath. And Genesis Esports extremely strong in that matchup. If I'm not wrong, there's still one more man from 4TR alive in that vicinity. But let's see what he can actually do in this scenario. I don't really see a lot of ways where the man can actually try and survive from that place. But that one last man, he might just have a lot on his plate. The remaining two players of Reckoning Esports backing off for Mad Kings. Even they've only got 2 men standing. It's a proper 2v2 fight. On paper, I genuinely think it might just be Mad Kings coming out on top. But once again, the fight between the players of Genesis Esports and 4TR, it resumes. 4TR with only one man, I highly doubt they can do a lot in that scenario. He's trying his best to bob and weave. He's got a shotgun to play with. If he does find 2 strikes, that will be the equalizer right there. Even Team Aryan is getting dismantled by Victorious Sumus. There's so many fights breaking out.
Yeah.
But Mad Kings, still there's a massive delay between them and Reckoning Esports in executing the fight. And now Clutch God forms the off angle, spots out the man in the front, just waiting for the right opportunity. But Mad Kings, they're whiffing those shots, but Reckoning Esports now finally spotted, and what was Clutch God doing? A rookie mistake from the lad might just cost Mad Kings the entire fight towards boot camp. Reckoning Esports with a shot to life, but 8-Bit have already closed up with the third party.
Yeah, that was a perfect third party. Meanwhile, it seems like Pain is live, successfully eliminated one more team. He did a clutch against the players of Genesis. He eliminated the whole squad, but right now 8-Bit, they're in a whole world of trouble. Aquanox managed to save the day, but it's a 1v1 fight in his QBZ. The jumping headshot works, and 8-Bit survives. 3 frags. But right now, that's not the way Phoenix Goten will survive. A very interesting run over and a DBS knockdown onto Goten. Hero Extreme Godlike, the HPs, all the players are quite less. Jonathan and Godzi, they are surviving. And I would love to see how Pain, his life, pulled that off, because it seems that he took all the matters into his own hands, and that was 1v4 clutch. Probably, but would love to see what happened right there. But meanwhile, Godzi punished from distance by Slug. Admino on the other side. Red dot in his QBZ, and oh, he is almost dead. No helmet as such, no heals. Look at him, Admino. I don't know how he will patch himself up. Definitely needs some bandages from his teammates, and yup, he got him a first aid kit. Meanwhile, Jonathan also got peppered down. by the players of Phoenix Esports. In Go 10, he got a revival. That's strange.
Phoenix Esports back in full force. They need to be careful off the back lines as well. We know there's no one, but Phoenix Esports does not. 8-Bit after third partying and collecting those scraps. 2 players from Mad Kings, 2 players from Reckoning Esports. Even Team Aryan got claimed by the players of Victorious Sumus. So that's quite a solid start for them. That's it. That's going to be 8 points right there in the power play. Way to kick things off for Victorious Sumus. Genesis Esports thwarted all the way down to the 5th spot, getting eliminated like that. But yeah, pain. He definitely ensured that Genesis Esports is going to be feeling a lot of pain after getting wiped out like that. A 1-on-3 clutch executed by Pain's Life from 4TR.
Yeah.
It's some unbelievable stuff right there. And I hope we get a chance to look at the replay. I'm pretty sure it was an iconic battle. But once again, back towards Hero Extreme Godlike. I'm quite surprised Hero Extreme Godlike did not go towards boot camp. Usually you see them drop over that spot. But this is the fight between Genesis Esports and 4TR that we're speaking of. Genesis Esports did have the man advantage, but Pain's Life, he actually 1v4'd them. That is disgusting. Look at him. He first down Hunter, and then he moved on, taking down Yash. Gravity was the last man standing, and Pain's Life did not even flinch.
So
Executed the final man as well. Genesis Esports, that is what you call getting manhandled.
And then we saw Rush Boy all alone. He tried his level best to shut down the players, but unfortunate, got instantly knocked out. And hey, good dose to Pain's Life. That's why this is the team. He's the reason that they're still alive in the server. And Genesis bites the dust. Eventually they got 3 finishes and especially 6 points from this particular map. But that's it. On the other side, 4TR, they can still collect some more. 8 already in the bag. I'm talking about points. Likitha Esports, we completely forgot about Victorious Summers too. They also got a chance to wipe out a team, and they were good with that. Team Aryan. An elimination for them. And after those incredible early fights, there's a silence. The circle is really interesting, favoring the northern side and covering all the 3 islands. And if it takes a centralized shift, you'll never know where the circle will move, and that will create a lot of questions in your mind.
This is what I was talking about when I was speaking about Sanhok, right? Sanhok always brings in that anonymous aura. You never know what to expect. And look at the zone now, shifting towards the Camp Alpha Island, which means now everyone will need to move on towards that vicinity. And K9 Esports have found themselves in the smack center with the most amount of advantage.
Yeah.
They've also got the high ground advantage. They've got the placement advantage as well, since they're in the smack center of the zone.
But Omega,
I'm pretty sure K9 Esports will be able to rack up a lot of elimination points.
He needs to be careful, Necro.
Nah, it's fine. He's way too far away.
Yeah. Fortunately, he had a vehicle. Otherwise, he could have got killed right away. Instantly, he could have got finished right away.
Yeah.
But once again, the important factor is the Team 2 Rippers. They are also rotating, but I don't see it. The rotation is quite risky. You are completely surrounded by a lot of teams. Metal and Phoenix is right there. And Metal Venom, he's looked adamant with his rotations. Still outside of the zone. But they can make their move.
Yeah. If you speak of Metal Esports and their performance yesterday and day before yesterday, they've been in a red-hot form. They're also looking pretty good in dandy in the overall standings. In the top 8, still pinned down. But True Rippers, right next to the players of IG Los Hermanos. Zyrex was taking those shots. Connection, though, still lacking. True Rippers backing away from this entire vicinity. And IG Los Hermanos, they find themselves in quite a tricky spot. True Rippers, they just want to pave a good pathway inside of the circle. That's the only thing True Rippers really wants to do. But since the zone has now taken a curveball shift towards the Camp Alpha Island, everyone's messed up big time. And now they will need to rethink all the strategies they were thinking before.
A slight null right now in the circle. Players were trying to pin down some of the players, but still not enough. Metal went too close to the players of Phoenix. They are hiding inside those compounds. For now, they're safe. But not for so long. One more 23 seconds more. And Venom, the spotting is good. About to knock down one player and about to take down one more finish. But nah, the distance was quite a lot. Meanwhile, Victorious Sumus, as you just mentioned, the rotation was too good and they have a good control of Camp Alpha, but the only problem is they have to take control of that high ground. We all know temple circles are really, really important and annoying at the same time. If you don't have the high ground, if you don't have the height advantage, you can get punished from a lot of teams. But still, there's a cluster towards the eastern side of the map. Medal. I don't know what they're waiting for. Let's take a look at the replay now. How 8-Bit managed to shut down both teams. First of all, they took down Mad Kings and then Reckoning. Javen tried his level best, Necro, but the final finish being secured by NoNx was just brutal. And hey, you can see a sigh of relief. Right, you saw Somraj. But right now, Venom, his grenade looks good. Is this perfect? It was! And Go 10 bites the dust.
Yeah, the man gets knocked out. Phoenix Esports, a bad start to the fight. And Metal Esports with all the 4 players around the block. Venom's taking a lot of damage upon himself. Even the Blue's on the move. Whoever's taking damage will be eliminated by the Blue itself. So they need to be quick and wrap this fight up as soon as possible. But Metal Esports, they found themselves on the advantageous side of the spectrum. And they're also dominating this fight in quite a one-sided manner. For Phoenix Esports to make it out alive, it seems like it's going to be impossible now. But luckily enough, the remaining 2 players actually escaped and ran away. So Phoenix Esports, they are in the safety lines, but not in the safe zone yet. And the circle just shifting right on top of the place of K9 Esports. This has got to be a back-to-back from K9 Esports.
It seems like that, but they have to be confident and careful because I love to say this, whenever you are in the center, you are the center of attraction to Necro. And a lot of players, they are already rotating. True Rippers, Jelly leading the pack towards the Camp Alpha Island. And yes, they got the map control. Global Esports, they are also entering, and look at the way they are doing that. Quite less water around that particular area, so yes, you can easily drive a vehicle. Global Esports, the previous map, they were just 1 inch away from that chicken dinner. K9, they were able to snatch that, and this is, I think so, this is the perfect map. You can take your revenge if you want to, because now you got the circle, you got the safe zone, but Metal, Venom, not the perfect way you can enter inside the compound, and now it all comes down to aimbot, because you lost one of your player. Tommy managed to take another finish down, and this is looking horrible for the players of Metal.
Metal Esports, Termi the only man standing, and Hero Extreme godlike. Oh man, Jonathan, he was able to convert that elimination point, but Termi, he barrel stuffs another man down. Jonathan in the back, even he's cooking up a nade in the hopes of tossing that nade to perfection, but Termi's nade's going to be flung first. Metal Esports, they're going for a recovery. Revival towards that teammate. Should give them that reset. But since Blue's on the move, it's going to start to chip away a lot of damage this time around. You need to be quick. Even Jonathan cannot keep on sitting around the same compound for a long time. He needs to do something right here, right now. Util's going to be tossed from Jonathan, and that should be able to find a re-knock. But no, it's going to be the answer. Jonathan not precise enough with the utilities. The second nade tossed up, and that's going to find a knock. Maybe. But no. Once again, not precise enough. Metal Esports are playing this fight perfectly well. They know they've got the man advantage, and they want to play around that. They want to play a proper trade game against Jonathan. But Jonathan is keeping himself patched up and medded up. And that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, the man advantage overwhelms him as he gets eliminated from the game. For Metal Esports, we all know they cannot survive the zone anymore since the circle is way too far away from them. And I'm pretty sure even Termi has to accept his fate now.
Tommy looking for some more mids. And this is a really, really good chance for himself to just patch himself up and then move towards the circle. The stage is deadly. The safe zone is also deadly. And now you can see the players of Team Crore, they are getting bent behind the compound. You need some more frags. You need those finishes. And Global Esports overwhelming the players of Team Crore. But Necro, the problem is still a lot of players, still a lot of teams. They are not in the circle. And one of them is True Rippers and Global Esports. They are trying to gatekeep them, but they need to understand the circle is also far away from them. Light and very good rotation by the players of Team True Rippers. But one vehicle, 4 players. Necro, we know where it could end.
Yep, it can't be a surprise package either. It can end up good or can end up really bad. 4 elimination points can be instantly confirmed if a proper spray is hit on towards the vehicle. But at this point for Equinox, unfortunately the man gets confirmed. 8-bit down and out from the game in Global Esports. They somehow make it up close and personal against the players of K9. Look at the man on top. It's Ninja Boy, and he finds another knock. Spray God goes down as well. Global Esports, they walked into a spring trap, and they will not even stand a single chance. K9 Esports placed that perfectly. And Ninja Boy, he was able to rack up 2 eliminations from that.
They did the same thing what they have done in the previous map, once again snatching the lives from the players of Team Global Esports. It's OnePlus K9 Esports, ladies and gentlemen. The elimination confirmation right in front of our eyes. 3 finishes for the players of OnePlus K9, and now they have to face the informed True Rippers. Slug saw that grenade miles away, still tanked a lot of damage, falling back. But the problem is, Necro, they are aware about this fight. OnePlus K9, 2 players are still there, but not the whole squad. Slug, for now, he can get some support from Ninja Boy, but not enough. You need Omega, you need Beast in this fight. Where are they? Meanwhile, Harsh pinning down Omega behind that little rock. Good cover for him, but not perfect. And he's too far away. Only 7 teams in the stage 4. True Rippers is one of them taking control of the circle. Victorious Summers, meanwhile, dodging all the fights. They make it into the center. They made it into the center of the circle.
The main problem for Omega is not to make it inside of the zone. It's how are you going to reunite with the teammates? That's the main problem.
I think so he can, though. He's got plenty of cover.
He was constantly being pressured by the players of True Rippers. And for some reason now, True Rippers is not pressuring that man anymore.
That's
just kind of weird. They're supposed to keep that pressure applied towards K9 Esports if True Rippers wants to find the advantage on top of the hill. There's definitely a big chance True Rippers might just come out on top in this duel. Nothing taken away from that.
You gave them a chance to run away.
K9 Esports is not going to run away from this spot. Let's be honest. It is the best possible spot you can have your hands on. And if True Rippers is on the back lines, K9 Esports needs to find a way to eliminate them. That is the only way K9 Esports can stand a chance to close the game out. K9 Esports needs to put a full stop in True Rippers' momentum. But True Rippers, they do not want to go for the high ground anymore. Instead, they back away.
Risky. Quite a risky rotation from the side of the players of Team True Rippers. Jelly leading the pack. Meanwhile, we can see that 1v4 who pulled that off. That is none other than Pain in Life. Pain is Life, still alive in the circle. Make it into the top 4. Top 7, by the way. True Rippers. And look at Jelly being really cautious, by the way. Harsh, KO, and the whole squad, they are together. Eventually, they are inside the safe zone, but it's still not safe. Meanwhile, FS, when they lost those 2 players and when they secured those 2 finishes, is still a mystery for me. But for now, they are in the circle. That's the perfect part. Medal Termi, the only player surviving from the side of Team Medal Esports. They are on the 8th position, so you can clearly see them on the first page. 8-bit already got eliminated, so you can collect some more points and try to topple them down. That's going to be your key. OnePlus, K9 Esports, Omega. Yep, he's back with the team, he's back with the squad. And now, Los Hermanos, apologies, Likitha Esports, they are also inside the circle. Meanwhile, Jelly bites the dust, got knocked out by Beast. And as you just mentioned, they have to take care of him. They are doing that.
Jelly's going to be confirmed soon. The next zone's going to be pop up within a few seconds. And this next zone, it will tell us what exactly is going on. And it will shift down in the open lands. K9 Esports might have just messed up big time. K9 will now need to move out in the open. They will be forced to move out of their comfort zone. The next zone's already popped up. And K9 Esports, since they've got the high ground to play with, of course they can apply a lot of pressure against True Rippers. But True Rippers, they need to find a way to escape the wrath of K9. They're currently living and breathing in K9's world. But True Rippers, they need to find a way to make the great escape. But here's the main problem. True Rippers will anyway be too exposed to K9 Esports, even if they do manage to escape away. K9's got a solid spot to play around with constantly, and they've also got the high ground to play with, which is really giving them the advantage.
The constant rotation, the constant moving on, just providing them a lot of information as well as subtle cover. But now they've got to face the players of Victorious Summers always. and Beast too close together. Thunder hiding behind that compound. In fact, the Boulder Smoker meanwhile managed to get down iQOO, but you could have confirmed that finish. You have to confirm that finish. Then you can collect some more points. And look at Ninja Boy. One grenade can do the job. Always being silent. And Omega, that drop was not required. Came in with a horse and now left as a crate. Ninja Boy, the grenade is perfect. I think so that can do the job. Nah, missed it completely. The M4 spray was not even good. And now OnePlus K9 about to lose their chance. The Molotov is perfect. Will they be able to get a knock? And yes, they will. One more finish. Beast! He was trying to lob a grenade, but that's not the perfect way to engage in a fight. It seems K9, they got eaten alive by the players of Victorious Summers.
K9 Esports has been eliminated completely from this game. And Victorious Summers on the opposite side. Now they're starting to face the Wrath and the Bright. Victorious Summers, they're quite exposed on top. And they're all now also the center of attraction. Everyone's eyeing out and towards the players of Victorious Summers. And Victorious Summers, they've got nowhere to go. They are quite exposed on top. All the eyes attracted towards them. Likitha Esports, this can be their game if they play it right. But there's a team inside of the circle, and that's in the name of FS Esports. And that can definitely be one of those teams that can throw a massive spanner in the works. There's also True Rippers, but just one man from True Rippers alive. That is 1-6.
That's the end.
The moment you blink your eyes, you will see Likitha Esports take an exit from the game. It's quite an unfortunate outing for a team like Likitha Esports who stood a chance to win the game. But FS Esports, since they've got the zone control, it's going to be impossible to snatch the game away from them. Victorious Summers, they've got the man advantage though. All the 4 players still standing. Thunder's knocked out. Will the revival be possible? That's my question. FS Esports, they've got the zone advantage. Levi in the prime spot. Utilities, they need to find some sort of connection, and that's the only way Victorious Summers can win the fight. And they've already threaded the needle. They've already found the first knock. That was such a great find. And the moment they found the first knock, we know it is now going to be Victorious Summers and their chicken dinner. They've got the man advantage still. But Victorious Summers now will need to be too exposed since the Blues on the move once again. But the same thing can be said for GodX. Even GodX is out in the open. Mafia, it's a one-on-one duel. But if it is FS Esports to come out on top and seal that chicken dinner.
What a steal by GodX! What a steal by FS Esports! They were also struggling on the third page, but Victorious Summers always got knocked out by that fall damage. Necro. Yeah. Can you imagine, at a very crucial time, one of the experienced player going down by fall damage? That's not good. That's not the way it should end. But hey, it was their collective major frags in favor. FS getting the chicken dinner in their name. Let's take a look how it happened. Let's take a look at the final blow.
There's a reason why I always keep on saying Sanhok is a zone-oriented map, and here's the prime example of that. Even if you've got the man advantage, but you do not really have the zone, well, you will not be the one to come out on top, my friend. I hate to break it to you. And Victorious Summers, especially in the final few moments, the way they were able to sort of clutch it out for a moment, but then in the end, FS Esports, they got things under control, and things were much more better for them. But for now, it's time for us to toss to a short break. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, zero stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Welcome back after that short break, and after watching such an iconic moment in that map at Sanhok, we all thought it should have been K9 Esports' game on paper, but the moment we saw another curveballing shift right on top of the players of FS Esports, somewhere down line we all knew it has to be FS Esports' game, and since FS Esports is struggling so much in the overall standings, they deserve that game too.
I absolutely agree. It's been such a long time now that we've finally brought FS Esports back, and we're finally seeing them sit on that top spot. I think so. It's about an occasion that they might want to order some Swiggy burgers from the Swiggy 99 store, ladies and gentlemen. The QR code will pop up in a while. Make sure you scan that out and get yourself some 99 rupees burgers free of delivery charge. But now, since this chicken dinner has been delivered to FS, I wouldn't exactly say delivered because, it was K9's game you mentioned as well, but they kind of messed up big time.
I mean, K9 Esports, I expected a lot more, especially with the way Omega just straight up took a massive dive with that horse. Victor Sumus was ready with the spring trap setup, and the moment Omega found himself in the middle of Victor Sumus, he got absolutely shredded. Even that horse was not alive, by the way. That's how many bullets were shot towards that direction. And unfortunately for Omega, well, you can't even make that up at that point. Omega should have been a little bit more careful. His teammates should have communicated better. That's what I personally think. The way he took that dive was definitely quite questionable.
I 100% agree. It was like one of the biggest chance for them to get that back-to-back and, get a big boost up into the ranking itself. But things not going in their way. But they eventually went pretty fine for the side of FS as God was having 6 finishes for himself. And if I'm not wrong, they were the ones who had that drop clash against Godlike as well, who tried to avoid a drop clash against the members of Mad Kings into the boot camp. That was interesting. Interesting to see that Harsh is actually the best companion without any rescues, but 3 assists, so that's fine.
I mean, with the way things really kicked off in that specific map, right? I mean, inside of boot camp, we saw Mad Kings once again pretty much be there, go for that drop clash, but this was probably one of the best possible moments off that map. Pain his life, taking down all the 4 players of Genesis Esports single-handedly, and that's a prime example of how to get manhandled, because he was out there putting up those iconic moments over and over again after he was shutting down every single man of Genesis Esports. And then later on, we also did see Hero Extreme Godlike get eliminated. Unfortunately for Hero Extreme Godlike, Jonathan was the only man that was standing, so it's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, Termi as well, standing up against the members of Godlike out there. Absolutely phenomenal performance coming in from the side of Middle. Whenever it comes down to the map of Sanhok, we see someone from Middle step up. Be it if in terms of frags itself, be it in terms of position, or maybe getting those chicken dinners. Even yesterday we saw Aimbot perform almost out of his mind as well. But now having a look at the match rankings itself, Victor Sumus will be the ones to have the maximum number of points on board. That's going to be 19, while FS even with the chicken dinner and medal with the bounty, they're just trailing behind by 1 and 2 points.
Yeah, that is solid stuff from Metal Esports, right? 17 points. Even though we did not really see Metal Esports for that long of time inside that game, Metal Esports was still able to squeeze away with 17 points. That's insane if you think about it. But I'm also really happy for K9 Esports and their consistency that's brewing up slowly and steadily on the board. And that's going to help the players of K9 Esports maintain that top 12 spot. We've got the overall standings once again on the screen. The top 4 is pretty much the same. OG slipping by slowly and steadily, but it's completely fine. Still in the top 4. Genesis Esports on the 5th. They have been there at the start of the day and once again over there on that same spot.
It's a big possibility for them though to try and bounce over the members of OG and get back into that top 4 itself. That would be the first time when we'll see OG entirely out of the top 4 at the end of the day. They maintained that position for a long time.
A while ago, we had an interview with God's Reign Destro, and he clearly mentioned that he does not want to be in the top 4 anyways.
Exactly.
He wants to move on towards the semifinals because he wants to continue to have that good momentum and then in the grand finals motivate and dominate the team. So I feel like that might just be one of those strategies that even Genesis Esports wants to replicate. There's a big chance.
Not like how we saw that. Not getting manhandled like one before. I'm pretty sure that's not the kind of momentum they would want to bring on the table too. Because that is not just a momentum breaker, man. That's a back-breaking performance. And it's not just happening one time. This is the second time. It was Atanki on the map of Erangel, if you remember. The first one where he just destroyed Genesis when they came in for a third party. This time it was a straight-up 1v1 fight or a head-on fight in the Paradise. It just seems like Genesis can't really settle down, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope they get their hands on the OnePlus 13 soon. I mean, they've already got their hands on the OnePlus 13. Yeah, the performance recently has been lacking, but I'm pretty sure the device isn't. So I would recommend you guys to move on and check it out. But back towards the conversation that we're having, right? Genesis Esports getting eliminated in such a way, there's a big chance now it's going to affect their performance, even on the map of Erangel.
Yeah, it could very well be possible right now. And this is a day where they've got all the 4 maps that they were supposed to play, right? And it's, again, the start of the week, no more impact players coming in, no more additional power-ups for you. It's just down to that bounty, it's just down to that power play. And they have not been winning in the power play.
You know what? Let's start talking a little bit more about Reckoning Esports now, because it's one of those surprising entries in the bottom of the BGMS Season 4. And none of us expected that Reckoning Esports is going to be at the bottom in the BGMS Season 4. But for some reason, Reckoning Esports, they're maintaining that spot consistently, which is not a good thing. You're not supposed to be at the bottom. You're supposed to be at the top. And Reckoning Esports got their first ever chicken dinner on the map of Sanhok in the BGMS Season 4. But so far, that same performance was not replicated. In fact, in the previous map of Sanhok, they were the first team to get eliminated.
They've been getting knocked out every single time, right? It was Mad Kings who eventually took that drop clash against them in boot camp. So
yeah, and even True Rippers came in with the third party and wiped him out.
It was just an utterly disastrous performance for them. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem coming in though. But that's just not it, right? They're not the only team who are out here and struggling. It's also MyG Loss and Hermanos. Again, today, there was a time when this team was up in top 8 itself. I remember over towards the end of week 1 and the start of week 2, we were having a discussion, maybe MyG Loss and Hermanos, if they get one big game, if they get that one big chicken dinner, we might see them propel themselves up towards the top 5, even in the top 4. But look at them now, they're even struggling to make it in top 12.
Yeah, indeed they are. I mean, at this point in time, for MyG Loss Hermanos, playoffs are waiting. That's all I'm going to say. It's the last week, MyG Loss Hermanos, day 1 is pretty much gone by, and their performance is still lacking. That's the only thing I can possibly see coming for them. And for Phoenix Esports as well, the same thing can be said. Ash's performance, still not replicating that well enough on the board. Phoenix Esports as well will probably move on towards the playoffs. I don't think there's no stopping at this point. The teams on the latter half of the board, the only possible way they can make a comeback is if they take the advantage of the bonus card, take the advantage of the power play, take the advantage of the bounty, and start hunting down teams left, right, and center in the stage 1. As we've got the plane popping up in the sky once again, starting all the way from Lipovka towards the opposite side, which is Hospital. This plane flat pad dividing the map into 2 equal halves.
This is the second Erangel which we are seeing right now. The previous one divided it into Eastern and Western Hemisphere. This one's dividing it all the way vertically from Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Out here, teams who would want to drop all the way down on the military base island. Good luck flying there. It's not really helping you out. You've got to pick up the vehicles to move up. Teams who would want to go towards Severny, like K9. It's going to be a long journey for them, but it's highly possible they'd be able to make it without any major difficulties. Last time we saw Mad Kings drop all the way over towards North. I want to see if they would want to pull the same shenanigans this time around. Will we see some things change up?
Phoenix Esports going towards Lipovka. And I just hope this time they find a good start. They find themselves in the groove, and I really want Golden to man to wake up and start performing once again and get those elimination points racked up. Reckoning Esports is another one of those teams. I hope they will not be eliminated off the rip. 8-Bit 2, the previous game was not too good, but we know what 8-Bit's capable of. We know they can pull off good games. It's not even a question. They're doing pretty good in the overall standings. FS Esports, they found their first ever chicken dinner in that game of Sanhok, but now as FS Esports is moving down south, let's hope for FS Esports as well, this will be a good, consistent game.
Hopefully, if that's going to be the case. You'd really want to see FS bring themselves back up now on the back of this momentum gained by the chicken dinner on Sanhok. We'll have to see if that pans out. The circle moving all the way up north, having Yasnaya Poliana over towards its center. At least it's not the absurd one like we saw in the first map itself. Now coming back, if there are teams who would want to drop all the way down south, maybe Godlike, which I thought they would want to go in over towards military base. It's going to be a long, late rotation for them coming in towards that circle. But we've seen this gameplay of Godlike today where they're trying to spend some extra time in the blue and then they decide to move on over towards the circle. I believe it's stage 3 when they finally decide that, alright, it's time to make our moves. It's time to move back in towards the circle itself.
Testing new stuff out.
Yeah.
Since Hero Extreme Godlike knows no matter what, they're still going to move on towards the semifinals, even if they miss out to be in the top 4. So it's completely fine. A lot of the teams, though, directly want to take a leap in the grand finals. 4TR, they're on the prowl, they're on the hunt, on the chase against the players of True Rippers. They spot them out in the front.
Yeah.
But 4TR, how's this fight going to be executed? That's my question. Two of the players of True Rippers right in front. They do go for a bit of that pit stop, get their hands on the basic weaponry. This is one of those fights that will be interesting to see. Especially Hirsch! What was that spray? Insane stuff from Pain is Life. Precise spray from the guy. Gets him knocked out in midair. And now for 4TR. At least they've started things off with a massive advantage. For True Rippers, they've started it off with a disadvantage. With just a pistol in hands. I highly doubt the man's going to be able to do anything. And True Rippers, they're losing out on too many men.
They're being destroyed utterly right now. Just down to the one last man standing. As Hirsch, he did not even drop up on his feet, but rather on his knees. A big problem coming in for True Rippers. Not really the way they wanted to start this last game itself, as they're only playing 2 today. And this is the last one of that. Even in the previous one, you could say they would have wanted to do a little bit more better out of there. But it's a very nice start coming in for 4TR now. This team also was struggling so much previously in week 1. They've now find themselves super close to that top 12, just on the 13th spot, knocking the door.
True Rippers. The position they've got, it's not good. 4TR all the way towards the apartments of Georgia Pool. The moment they got those elimination points, instantly backed away.
Yeah.
And True Rippers now is playing it passive. But there's a chance Mad Kings might just knock on the doors of True Rippers and collect those scrappy points. There's definitely a big chance. Mad Kings is moving pretty close. But K9 Esports, even they're moving around that same vicinity. They're getting closer towards Zarki. And I'm pretty sure the only reason why they're moving towards that vicinity, it's because they saw 4TR eliminate the players of True Rippers.
Yeah.
They probably know the fact that there is a bit of that drop clash going on. For 4TR, luckily enough, they've already found a bit of that footing towards the Georgia Pool apartments. So it's all good in the hood.
Had that fight gone on for a little bit longer, we would have seen not just a third party, but also a fourth party coming in. But as you mentioned, luckily for all the players, that's not really going to be the case. Everyone else moving all the way down over towards the circle. That's going to be the main focus. Team Aryan taking control of Rozok. Since OG is not here, they're absolutely free to do so. Global Esports as well. Moving a little bit more in over towards the mansion and Yasnaya Poliana. It's the open farms out there, so you have to be careful.
I mean, Mad Kings and their positioning,
I don't like it.
I don't really see anything to not like it, though. It's the stage 1. They've got ample amount of time still left to make a rotation. So I don't think Mad Kings is that much in a concerning spot. Yes, they're outside of the circle. Understandable. But Mad Kings can easily make a rotation as well. There's a lot of pathways open.
I mean, there's been scenarios where Mad Kings had the circle, and even after that, they eventually fumbled the game.
There's been a lot of scenarios where Mad Kings in general have been pretty bad in fights.
Exactly.
So, I mean, those once again are quite the ifs and buts, right?
I agree.
For now, though, we never know what's going to be the outcome, straight up. But 8-Bit, even they've got back in their vehicles. They're on the move as well towards the zone. Look at the Esports above Yasna Polyana. There's a big chance we might just see Yasna Polyana zone.
Could be an urban zone, just like the previous one. You wouldn't really want to call it urban zone, but yeah, it was still around Primorsk. So it could be possible right now. But we'll see another one forming out there. There's only one bounty team out here, and that's going to be Godlike. And ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to see their gameplay, or maybe if you would want to see 8-Bit's gameplay, make sure you check out Jio Hotstar, as the multicam feature is available, and you can focus only on those two teams.
Yeah.
To watch that.
Indeed. I mean, especially for Hero Extreme Godlike. As you mentioned, right, they have been taking that late-game rotation for a long time now.
Yeah.
Playing around the edges, all the way back in the blue, tanking a bit of that as well. And Hero Extreme Godlike not really playing it aggressive anymore.
Way too passive.
And it's sort of been working out as well for them. So it's fine. As long as it works out, it's all good and dandy.
Kind of.
Hero Extreme Godlike is on the second spot in the overall standing, so it's definitely working out, my friend.
This is a playstyle to entirely avoid giving your bounty to someone else.
I guess.
And that
makes a lot of sense.
That has been their main focus, even in the map of Miramar when they were up against OG. Yeah, they lost 3 members out there for the Apes, and then Jonathan just... I'm pretty sure if he would have had an opportunity, he would have decided to go for the emote.
But he can also help Godlike to actually pave a new way of playing the pro circuit for themselves.
I would have wanted
Testing
him to
the waters out, find new stuff out, get new strategies rolled out as well for the future in the grand finals maybe, so you can catch a few teams off guard. And for Hero Extreme Godlike, one thing's been certain. They do not really have a proper drop location. They're quite versatile.
And it could be said for a lot of teams, to be honest, out here in BGMS, right? Considering the erratic plane fly paths and also the constant matchups of all those groups. We've basically seen quite a few teams changing their drop location to here and there. And since we are talking about erratic things, one of them is the circle, again moving up towards north. You wanted to see Yasnaya Polyana? That could still be possible, though.
Yeah, still it is possible. The northern side is completely different. The southern side is the urban warfares. Up to the teams, though, where they want to position themselves. K9 Esports, they would like to play it from the northern side. That's how they've been playing. Mad Kings, late preachers once again. I'm not exactly sure what Shadow's doing all the way back, but he's separated from the pack. He needs to be with the team. Shadow, it's definitely concerning. Now finally gets back inside of the vehicle. There's a big chance Shadow can't be eliminated since he's so far away from the pack, from the rest.
Yeah.
And look towards Yasna Polyana. You've got Likitha Esports, Metal Esports right next to each other. Even Global Esports around that same fray. This is going to happen in the urban warfare.
A lot of teams will eventually occupy those compounds. Now there comes the questions, right? If you would want to stay with a 2-and-2 split, couple of people in one apartment, couple of them in the other one, or if you would want to go for a 1-1-2, maybe all 4s in different, but hold on. That's going to be one of the big questions as to how you would want to play out here, considering all 16 teams are alive right now. Only 4 players been taken down. 3 from True Rippers, 1 from Medal, but maybe that number could change very quickly.
Mad Kings. There's a big chance even they can be stopped in tracks, but Henry, he's taking a lot of damage. He's already tanked up a lot of damage to himself. The man was literally on fire, but still alive, so that's good news. Team Aryan, they found themselves in such a tricky spot. Aryan moves out. He wants to deliver a few punches, but maybe will be stopped by the players of Mad Kings. Trades happening back and forth, and now there's a big chance Team Aryan will be the one to wrap up this fight. They've already found themselves in a massive advantage. And Sam, he's already upstairs in the building. What is Sam doing?
Done.
Questionable decisions from the side of Mad Kings. And as I mentioned, There have been a lot of scenarios where Mad Kings are absolutely bad in the fights, and this is one of them.
This is a big one coming in though, but another bad fight happening in for 4TR, or a good one you could say for Reckoning. Pain, his life is down on his feet. Iron of God all the way out to the far fray in the vehicle. Taking a few shots onto himself, so he's got to be careful right now. Scarlet in the hands, Iron of God pretty low. They already have got 3 finishes for themselves. All of those have been on the members of True Rippers. Nothing right now on Reckoning. Just a couple of knocks. He's going to move it up far forward, but it is a risky maneuver.
Luckily enough, at least they got Painter's life down. So the man who had the clutch genes was taken down early. So for Reckoning Esports, yeah, they were destined to win this fight. And I really want to have a look at 4TR's team stats. I'm pretty sure Painter's life, the amount of contribution this man has been able to bring upon the board, especially from week 2, it's insane.
He has constantly been one of the major impact players for the team as well. He was the impact player for the week 1. Weekend, that was the one, the big plays coming in. But hold on a second, 8-bit. Not something we'd normally see from this lineup. Out in the open, left around, and 3 of them are down on the knees. NoNx is absolutely nowhere to save them.
Questionable moves from 8-bit and Team Argon ripping them to shreds. That's power getting confirmed. NoNx still in the back around the bridge. And Team Argon, they know what exactly is going on around that smoke. They know where 8-bit are positioned. NoNx, he goes down in the water. I'm not sure what sort of a strategy this is from NoNx, but that's a rookie mistake. Should have fought it out against the players of Team Argon. That would have been the best possible chance to at least scrape away a few points.
Not really happening out here right now. 8-bit again, the struggles and the problems continue in the next game itself. And Team Argon now, they're looking absolutely beast. Getting another knock right now on the members of Reckoning out in the open in the fray. And this circle, still not quite sure if it will move over towards the north or it will go towards south.
Well, at least it has taken a southern shift, so Yasna Poliana now, it's in the smack center.
Big thing is now there's a big question in the hands of Phoenix and K9 if they would want to stay up or if they would want to move down.
I'm pretty sure they would want to move down. That is pretty much the normal way of thinking in a zone like this.
Here's the thing, they've got no opportunity to move down. If they want to go in from Yasna Poliana, Likitha Esports, Medal, they're going to be welcoming them. If they move on from the western side, yeah, good luck making your way from there because Team Argon is still camping the bridge.
They definitely have to go through the city, which is going to be extremely tough. We all know that. Taking a fight against the players of Metal Esports, fine, but how do you execute it?
Exactly.
That's the question. How do you come out on top? That's going to be even tougher. The moment you take a fight against Metal Esports, there will be a third party from Likitha, and then another third party will happen from Global Esports. And mind you, Los Hermanos, of course, they would want to be the opportunistic ones, so even they will third party. So that right there is a death trap. Do not take a fight in that vicinity. The only possible way I see Phoenix Esports make a rotation is if they move all the way from the blue towards that southern side, but still, they will need to go for a fight against FS Esports, which will be much more better odds.
They've got one opportunity, but that's going to help them out only for one circle out here, right? I can see there are some apartments at Yasnaya Poliana that are empty. They're the most eastern apartments. Now, the path to that is open, but as I said, it's just going to help you out for one circle, not the next one.
Yeah. And speaking of the next zone, it's going to be popping up soon. It will be forming maybe in the open lands as well. There's a big chance.
West.
I highly doubt it's going to go up north.
Oh my god.
It shifts right around that city. It's also that pond that's in contention.
TWOB is not here.
I don't get it. What do you mean?
The pond in contention, the waterways, TWOB.
Oh.
God. I didn't need to explain
Now I got it.
Oh my god.
Look, that was kind of hard to understand. I'm pretty sure even the viewers wouldn't have understand that.
Alright.
But as of now, Phoenix Esports, on the northern side, at least they find themselves on the lucky side of the spectrum. The zone's still favoring them. They do not really need to go for any sort of drastic moves.
Yep.
So Phoenix Esports can keep themselves pinned in that spot and keep on playing around that spot. K9 Esports! Oh, Ninja Boy, rookie mistake! The man slowed down. He's also taking a lot of damage! And the shotgun up close and personal from Javin will make sure the man struck down. Slug, he pushes up. And at this point in time, at least K9 Esports have found themselves a bit of that stability, but it's not stable enough.
It's open from multiple avenues right now, and all of these shots that Slug has fired, it's going to grab the attention of everyone on the other side. It's Global Esports, it's Medal as well, Team Aryan. They will be having all of them in their vicinity, but Reckoning, they're now just wrecking apart the other side though, but the same thing could be said right now for Godlike. They're being destroyed with the super late rotation, trying to move in front of Victorious Sumus. It's not working out for them. They've already lost down to Jonathan.
FS Esports still around that southern side. Victorious Sumus right next to him. And here Extreme Godlike right underneath the players of Victorious Sumus. How do you play this? Once again, the circumstances are similar. The moment a fight breaks out, there will be a third party. And after that third party, there will be another third party. It's going to keep on happening. And here Extreme Godlike, they're already pressing matters against the players of Victorious Sumus. Utilities are tossed out in the hopes of finding some sort of an advantage. But that advantage still being denied by Victorious Sumus. They're keeping themselves quite mobile. Utilities are being tossed from both the sides. They're being traded, but no one's able to find any sort of opening yet. Let me know. That nade was extremely close. But even the man gets flushed out now. This is going to be a tough fight for Hero Extreme Godlike to convert. While Victorious Sumus, all they can do is just hold themselves. But at this point, it's a major problem for Victorious Sumus' gods. He's able to find 2 quick knocks. How did this happen? How was Gods able to find those 2 quick knocks? And now Victorious Sumus, they're already down 2 players. Mafia and Oasis, the final 2 men standing. In Mafia, even he needs to find those returning knocks against Hero Extreme Godlike. That's the only thing that's going to save the sinking ship of Victorious Sumus. Oasis and Mafia, the 2 men standing against the 3 men of Hero Extreme Godlike. And what an 8 that was from Oasis. That's going to be the full stop in the aggression of Hero Extreme Godlike. And
Mafia?
now they need to play this fight passively.
Mafia?
But Mafia, he's creating the off angle, and Punk's got no clue. Mafia finally steps up, and he might have just found the right moment to strike. Oasis still constantly tossing those utilities, but Mafia is now going to start to make that pounce.
He's got to have that move right now as the blue will eventually push him. Sends out another nade. Still going in for a bit farther flank right now. Punk, yes, he's down, crouched out. Maybe he can try and survive. No hit markers coming in. Mafia will be destroyed instantly as Punk will get the claim onto that finish too. They also got the revival onto God, so that's also a big win coming in for their side as they destroy Victorious Sumus. Now only a waste remaining.
That was insane from Hero Extreme Godlike, specifically Punk. If Mafia was not taken down in that scenario, things would have fell apart instantly for Hero Extreme Godlike. But luckily enough, fortunately enough, things still intact. And now,
Aryan?
2 more players standing. As I mentioned, the moment a fight breaks out, there will definitely be a third party. And Team Aryan, here to reap the souls of Victorious Sumus. But they instantly back away. What was that?
That's such a big question mark right now. Even in my head, it's like they've decided to prioritize the zone, but it's still 2.5 minutes now that you've basically got that time.
Yeah, but if you move inside of the zone right now, you will be backstabbed by Hero Extreme Godlike.
Exactly.
Or even Victorious Sumus.
What?
So going for that fight was the right option. But luckily enough, they do get rid of that one foe. Oasis is down and out from the game, but Hero Extreme Godlike still lingers.
And they're going to move all the way from down south. They've got some opportunity now towards the eastern apartments on the south of Yasnaya Polyana. So if they want, they can really go and claim out there some territory which has been unclaimed. While that was happening down south, up north now, Reckoning and Phoenix, they were locking horns, and K9 found the perfect opportunity for a third party.
Indeed.
Reckoning got into a weird split of 1-1 where they sent one player all the way inside, and eventually was claimed by Medal and Likitha Esports as crossfire.
Pretty much.
That's a questionable decision coming in from them.
Middle Esports, yeah, as you mentioned, questionable decision. But aimbot, the man's still alive, and we know as long as the man's alive, things can still be in their favor. Util was tossed next to K9 Esports, Beast specifically, but the man's still surviving. K9 Esports, a constant nade parade towards the side of Metal Esports. Aimbot and all through next to each other, Venom around that same spectrum. And Metal Esports, even if they find one single connection, we know Metal Esports will send it. But they're not able to thread that needle. They're not able to find that knock. And that's now starting to be a real concern for the players of Metal Esports. And that's why they back away, because they know K9 Esports is moving inch by inch. K9 Esports, they've also got a lot of utilities so they can bombard down the entirety of that house. And the moment the smokes fade away, I'm pretty sure a lot of utilities will be lined up in the windows.
It's going to be a big problem coming in for Middle. Smoke lineups coming in as well. While this was happening, Godlike on the other side wanted to barge in on the compounds of MyG, Los Hermanos. Eventually, Gods and Punk, both of them have been taken down. It's all down to Admino. All the way down south in this circle. And I'm not quite sure for how long will he survive. Even Team Aryan, right? They wanted to go for the fight, eventually losing players left, right and center. Trying to claim the territory of Southwest. All the way out in the open, no hard covers. That's been a bit of a problem for their side. As the circle takes another central shift, and FS and MyG will be so happy about it.
MyG, Los Hermanos, FS Esports. Oh no. In close proximity, and that too inside of the city. And since the zone has moved in the city, everyone inside of the city now has a massive advantage. But imagine if it would have moved out. Things would have been so messed up, but now it's not going to.
It's only 3 teams right now inside the city. As Middle will try to make their mad dash, leaving their own compounds. R2 is left on the other side though, and in the meantime, Imbot and Venom, both of them have been taken down and destroyed out in the open. This was not really the way Middle wanted things to go, and that is a problem.
K9 Esports sending it upon the players of Middle Esports. R2 is the only string that's alive inside of that house, and K9 Esports knows exactly what's going on the block. But R2 somehow is able to dodge that bullet, and K9 Esports, they straight up send it towards Yasna Puliana, and K9, they're taking too much damage. Slug's knocked out. He was the sacrificial lamb in that rush. But that mad dash somehow works out for the players of K9 Esports. A 2-man strong squad can still survive for the long.
As long as they can get that revival up as well and dodge these nades. But guess what? You try to dodge the nades, some shots will be fired from the other fray. Global Esports as well, joining in the party all the way from
my god,
west. What a nasty one coming in. Hunters knocks himself out. Picture.
What?
Perfect play which you would never want to see.
And K9 Esports, they might just go for the advantage now. But I'm pretty sure K9 Esports has got no clue on what exactly happened there. So K9 Esports does not have any confirmed answers. But as of now, look at the Esports. They definitely do have a few, as they've already found the opener. And K9 Esports, within the blink of an eye, even the last man will be eliminated from the game.
And guess what? Likitha Esports did not get a single finish out of that. It's divided into FS Global Esports and MyG, Los Hermanos. Interesting way for the things to turn out right now. Escalan has got that high angle, and guess what? He's just riding down Hellfire onto Starboy, and that nade finds a perfect play as well. FS joining in the party as they're destroying Genesis one after the other.
Hunter's one mistake has now caused the entirety of Genesis Esports to crumble. One man from Genesis Esports went in to go for that revival, but a nade tossed out from FS Esports found a 2-piece instantly. Now for Genesis Esports, both the players are down. And Hunter's is already out. Yush is knocked out in the opponent fray. And how is Genesis Esports supposed to execute this rescue operation? Maybe the answer is no. Just don't go for it.
You can't.
Maybe it's an actual trap. Because FS Esports as well, they've got the line of sight on that fray.
It's a massive trap right now. There's no point of going in onto that revive. There's all two as well. We'll have some line of fire onto Zap and Gravity. FS, MyG, Los Hermanos, Likitha Esports are already in front of you. Best decision, let your man go. But for how long, as this next circle now pops in? Where will it go? And it's basically a date with destiny. MyG, Los Hermanos. This could be their game, or it could be a back-to-back for FS.
I highly doubt. Look at the Esports, Genesis Esports, Global Esports, Metal Esports. They will not be able to do anything. In the outskirts, the zone is favoring these two teams and those apartments. MyG, Los Hermanos and FS Esports, that is probably the best possible advantage they can get their hands on. And for Likitha Esports, I'm not exactly sure what they're supposed to do in that scenario. But whatever it is, Likitha Esports, they're supposed to make the most out of it, that's for sure. Get those elimination points once Global Esports is going to try to traverse out in the open.
Yes.
Get those elimination points racked up once Metal Esports is going to be quite uncomfortable. And that one-man Altu will be moving out in the open, and this is what I'm talking about. But it's MyG Los Hermanos instead, hammering down the players of Global Esports. Even Mane softened up in Global Esports. They will not be able to survive the lines of sight of MyG Los Hermanos. They've got him pinned in the crosshairs, locked in the sights, and probably in a few seconds they will be executed. But it was Likitha Esports to claim that elimination pointer towards Mania. They're still all too alive behind that tree. And Likitha Esports, they probably do want to steal that elimination point away too.
They don't really have a lot of elimination points. They've got, what, 3 chicken dinners probably? But even after that, not a lot of points all the way on the last page of the tally. So they would want to get as many as possible from this one. Shots being fired out in the smoke as well as all two. Just makes a mad dash, and guess what? He still was surviving for the last second unless Kalan again with the AKM. Just able to shut him down all the way from the far fray. Now MyG Los Hermanos with a 2-2 split. I absolutely love it.
Oh my god. After such a long time, it's a good game for MyG Los Hermanos. They were lacking exactly this. A good performance. MyG Los Hermanos has a lot of elimination points, but the main issue is the ammunition. Colin, he only had 9 bullets and nothing in the spare. The M416, it's pretty much a waste now.
Could potentially move on to Spire to ask for some spare bullets, considering
maybe
he's the man who eventually fires a lot of shots. Was also the impact player of week 1. Maybe this time they could probably share some of that. The OFS as well. They're also in one of the prime positions, and with the way the circle has been going, I'm pretty sure MyG Los Hermanos will be forced to move first.
Let's see though, you never know.
Pretty sure that's going to be the case because they're basically very close to the circle line, and this is stage 8.
I get what you mean.
They'll be
Definitely
forced to
do
move.
get what you mean. And MyG Los Hermanos should start preparing for the future right now. They will not have any other option. Look at the Esports tossing out a lot of smokes because they want to cross out in the open. And I'm soon sure the moment they step out in the open, there will be a lot of shots taken against Likitha. Look at Colin. He's right there next to the watchtower, and he spots him out. Beautifully played from Colin, and that's going to be a quick 2-piece to eliminate the entirety of Likitha Esports in this game.
You can combine the bullets in both of his weapons now. It's going to come down to 28. But the best thing is now he can loot all of that up from this crate. That's a big play coming in as well, since Genesis will be stopped in by FS. It's going to turn down to 4v4 right now as Zap, the only man standing. Maybe he can try and move up, but as soon as he decides to cross this road, he is going to be put up on a cross himself.
Yeah. Gravity's knocked out, as you mentioned, for Zap. There's no possible way the man's going to be able to make the cross. The zone shrinking. And Zap, he will need to adapt. There's barely any way Zap's going to be able to stay alive. And he decides to give his elimination point away to the blue. Which is honestly a smart option if you think about it. Genesis Esports denying every single possibility. Getting eliminated on the 3rd spot. It's a decent game from Genesis Esports.
True.
Enough amount of points to keep that spot pinned down to the top 4. But now, it's going to be a massive stalemate between MyG Los Hermanos and FS Esports. And MyG Los Hermanos, how are they going to decide to execute this fight?
Position of Levi is going to be crucial now. He's just got to wait for Zarax and Shadow to move out first.
Oh, look at Shadow. He's got the we could work with, but Levi's position's already compromised.
He had the chance.
Now they know there's a man on the opposite side of the wall. Levi with the shots, but it was honestly quite tough to catch him as well. Shadow gets knocked out though. Man advantage now in the hands of FS Esports, and the zone is constantly collapsing.
Kran has got to win out his own individual duel as well against Rush Boy. If he wins that out, then he will create an opportunity for MyG Los Hermanos to move up in front.
With the zone shrinking and FS Esports having the man advantage.
He won.
MyG Los Hermanos, they were able to thread that needle as they find the most crucial knock in the game. Rush Boy knocked out, and that's also going to be the equalizer. Pressure's now even Steven on the board, and MyG Los Hermanos, they might just have the advantage in the fight now. As Colin, he moved up, but Godex was able to win that fight. FS Esports, things under control, but even Lovish falls down. MyG Los Hermanos, things can be saved. They've got the man advantage now, and out of nowhere, they spring back to life. As the final man moved out in the open, MyG Los Hermanos, we see a little glimmer of the week 1 performance from them.
Finally, the win that they were hunting for. Finally a sigh of relief from MyG Los Hermanos. Something that we wanted to see for such a long time. This extra aggressive team. The early week 1 bounty hunting team. Finally getting those position points. Man, such a delight to watch now. But also at the same time, kudos to FS again, almost pulling this one out for themselves too.
FS Esports, back-to-back games could have been theirs. They got a chicken dinner on Sanhok, almost got extremely close on the map of Erangel. FS Esports, it feels like they've definitely found that groove.
Yeah.
But nothing taken away from the fact that they've also got a lot of luck with them in those 2 games. On Sanhok, the zone panned out right on top of them. In this game as well, the zone was right on top of them once again. So FS Esports' predictions have been good before now. Let's move on to a short break. We'll be right back with the, of course, post-game stats. After a long time, MyG Los Hermanos is back in that groove, and getting that chicken dinner is something MyG Los Hermanos was searching for the longest. In the week 2, we saw MyG Los Hermanos lose that groove completely, but at the start of the week 3, it's quite a great start for them.
Maybe it's the odd number week that eventually helps them out, right? Because, yes, this was a much-needed win coming in for their side. Yeah, they only had to play 2 games out here right now, so I'd still give them a little bit of the room to work with, considering tomorrow they will be playing 4 games, so I think so they still have an opportunity to move back up into the top 12. Top 4, yeah, that's looking a bit out of reach.
Of course, for a lot of those teams on the bottom page, let's be honest, to move inside of the top 4, it's impossible now.
Yeah.
It's pretty much out of reach. Unless if you start hitting down teams who've got a bounty on top of their heads, back-to-back games, you get a lot of chicken dinners. That's the only possible way you can pretty much make a comeback. And I'm speaking of 100 points probably in the 4 games that you're playing, which is a lot.
It's like asking for 25 points in every single game if you try and pull that average, right? 80 to 90, I think so that still is somewhat doable if you're able to pull that one, but it still requires you to have that impact play rule as well, right? Because one finish in power play itself gives you 4 points. So I think so that's a big boost which teams were supposed to utilize, and teams actually did. Like Godlike having those 45 points yesterday as well. Even Genesis all the way back in week 1 with a 50-point banger for their side. So if I'm not wrong, even OG had their own 40-point banger too. I think so those were the games these teams are looking for right now.
True.
But still, if it's about momentum, finally MyG are bringing it back.
And even FS Esports, the previous game of Sanhok was theirs, and almost clutching it out in this game as well, right? Back-to-back games could have been for FS Esports, but we all know there's also a bit of that luck involved in that scenario. On Sanhok, the zone popped up on them. In this map as well, the zone was right on top of them. FS Esports choked up that fight, though, which might not be good luck for them in the future.
That's one thing, right? It could be a confidence booster. At the same time, it can eventually destroy your confidence right now, and that's really what happened with MyG, or rather FS. Things started off on a pretty fiery note, to be honest, as 4TR wanted to find the members of True Rippers, eventually finding 3 of them, leaving just 1 last remaining Strangler. Then some fights coming in from the side of Reckoning. I wish I would have seen a little bit more of it, but eventually faded away with K9's third party.
Yeah.
Overall, this trifecta over towards the end, it was inevitable that MyG or FS will bring the victory home.
Specifically for MyG Los Hermanos, with the way they were able to turn the tides and find those return knockouts. The moment they found that equalizer, of course it was massive for MyG Los Hermanos. And I'm pretty sure right then and there, MyG Los Hermanos also had their hopes reignited that yes, maybe we can clutch this out. Yes, maybe we can win this game. And the fact that MyG Los Hermanos had to move up earlier, it was supposed to be FS Esports' game. That's what I personally think. But FS Esports, they did find the first knock, but they choked up.
One of the big things was that Lavish was standing all the way up in the building itself, right? He had a proper high ground. He had the proper opportunity to try and spray it down. But man, it's Spy. He was the last remaining man standing for the side of MyG Los Hermanos, who eventually got those two people knocked out of the building once Blue was pushing up.
7 finishes from Spy. That is absolutely insane. As we move towards the start of the match, you will also see MyG Los Hermanos' Cyrex right there. I mean, the man was doing quite good for himself. And then you've also got another man of Likitha Esports, which is Magic with 2 rescues. And of course, being the best companion. And let's be honest, right? Cyrex, he's one of those players from MyG Los Hermanos who has a lot of potential as well. Cyrex has played under a lot of big banners. Yes, he's also a bit of that newer face on the block. He does lack that experience, but he does pack a lot of punch. He does have a lot of firepower. We've got the match rankings pop up. 26 points in total for MyG Los Hermanos. You've got FS Esports with 13 points, Team Aryan getting 11, Reckoning Esports getting 8 points, Genesis Esports getting 8 as well.
Yeah, it's basically coming down to directly half now. On towards the bottom side, with just 3 points, K9 3 points as well, Victor Sumus only 1, 8-bit TR, Mad Kings and Phoenix. This is one of the big problems coming in now. 0 points for all of them, 8-bit for having some pretty good days now. I wonder what happened out here today specifically where they were not able to perform.
That's been the main problem with a lot of these teams on the latter half of the board, right? You speak of K9 Esports, they had those 2 good games on the map of Sanhok and Miramar, but now you instantly see that performance dipping down. And as long as you're not able to find that consistency, I highly doubt for you to maintain that top 4 spot's going to be possible. And Genesis Esports, they have been on that 5th spot since the longest.
Yeah.
I mean, at the start of the day, we saw Genesis Esports on that 5th spot. Even at the end of the day, Genesis Esports is still sitting on that 5th spot.
One of the big things out here that I noticed is that apart from Revenant Xpark, none of these teams have been able to hit that average of 10 points per game. While if you talk about RNTX, even without those big 40-point bonkers games, right, they still have managed to get that average. And that is one of the reasons why it is the only team crossing that 400-point mark. And this is the consistency that we ask of Sensei whenever the league stages of BGMS are concerned.
I mean, just look at the second page, right? Of course, we have seen a lot of fluctuations on the second page as well, but what matters is the third page now.
Yeah.
MyG Los Hermanos, after getting that chicken dinner, and that was also the first ever chicken dinner for MyG Los Hermanos. Remember, in the week 1, we were always saying that MyG Los Hermanos, they're extremely good in the early game, but when it comes to the late game, when it comes to the closing things out in that game, that's where MyG Los Hermanos lack, but they finally have sort of patched that out.
It falls down to the same thing where they either have good early game or they have good late game. It's not a combination of both of them. So I think that is where they're kind of lacking as well. But it's absolutely fine right now. Winning out that one was the big thing. As we have a look at another big thing, that's the TVS Raider most wicked players coming in. Admino still on top with 76.
Praise God on the second with 74, AKOP with 72, legit with 66 finishes. The man's not too far back, but honestly speaking, it's quite close between Trace, AK, and even Admino.
Yeah.
Even if one single game slipped up, I'm pretty sure we will see the other one overtaking them each other. And then if you move on towards the latter half of the board, you will of course see Aimbot, Justin, Neo, Spray God as well around that fray. But something that's incredible is also going to be the TVS, which is our mobility partner. A huge shout out to TVS Raider. Wicked's got next gen. TVS Raider IGO brings more swagger with digital cluster with 85 plus connected features. And of course, best in class torque as well that it offers.
I mean, you talk about best in class and we see AKOP sitting upon that. It eventually makes sense out here, right? But yes, one of the big things that we've constantly been talking about is the fact that the consistent performance of these players have basically made us reach 99 finishes 36 times. You've got the QR code up in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Quickly scan that for an exclusive 99 rupee off coupon on Swiggy. It's limited time only, so make sure you quickly get that.
Yep, you guys make sure you guys are scanning that QR code as soon as possible and get your hands onto that coupon. 99 rupees off, that's quite a lot of money right there. I mean, I wish I had my hands on that coupon, and maybe I'm going to scan that QR code myself. We've got the max finishes on the screen, pretty much the same thing copy-pasted over here as well. Admino's going to be at the top, Trace got on the second with 74, AKOP right there with 72, Legit with 66, and Hunters with 65 as well. And we've also got a quick interview lined up with the players, so let's have a look at the interview itself on the stage.
चार ही तो बॉयज हैं जो यहाँ पे आते हैं रेड बुल मैक्स टेक डाउन कैप लेने के लिए. ट्रेस गॉड आया था, लेकिन ट्रेस गॉड से अपनी पोजीशन जो है वो वापस हासिल कर ली है गॉड नीनो ने. लिसन, लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट, सच बोलेंगे, सच के सिवाय कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे. यू डिडंट वांट टू कम हियर, एंड वो इसलिए क्योंकि शायद आज परफॉर्मेंस जो है वो थोड़ी सी ल्यूकवार्म रही है. लेट्स जस्ट एड्रेस द एलिफेंट इन द रूम. क्योंकि आपने पहला मैच एक 3 मैन लाइनअप के साथ खेला था, डिड इट अपसेट द मोमेंटम दैट यू हैड मैनेज्ड यस्टरडे?
ना ऐसा तो नहीं था, क्योंकि मतलब हम लोग जब भी ऐसा कुछ रहता है तो मतलब हमारी बहुत बार कैजुअलिटी भी हो जाती है, तो हमारा वो माइंडसेट नहीं रहता है कि अगर एक बंदा नहीं है तो फिर मतलब हमारा थ्रो हो जाएगा या मोमेंटम ब्रेक हो जाएगा। हम यही सोचते हैं कि वो कोई फाइट में पिक ऑफ हो गया और फिर उसके आगे हम जो बेटर कर सकते हैं वो करते हैं।
कन्फेशन नंबर 2, ये मेरा खुद का है। यहाँ पे जितने भी प्लेयर्स आते हैं दे आर एबल टू अपने आप को डिस्कनेक्ट कर लेते हैं वो फ्रॉम द रिजल्ट ऑफ द मैच। मुझे ऐसा लगता है यू आर मोर इमोशनल अबाउट इट, तुम अपने आप को डिस्कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाते हो। कितना सच है ये?
होता है, मतलब जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस हमारी परफॉर्मेंस में रहती हैं वो जब हम फुलफिल नहीं कर पाते हैं तो थोड़ा डिसअपॉइंटेड फील होता है, मतलब इमोशनली भी। बट एज अ स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर आपको हर एक दिन के बाद रीसेट होना पड़ता है, वरना आपका अगला दिन भी बेकार जा सकता है, तो वो मैं दिमाग में रखता हूँ।
अब सोशल मीडिया पे ऑब्वियसली यू आर एक्टिव, योर टीम इज वेरी एक्टिव, वहाँ पे एक लॉयल फैन बेस है, वहाँ पे आवाजें, वहाँ पे मिन्नतें जो है वो बढ़ रही हैं दैट ये साल जो है आफ्टर 3 years विल सीजन 4 बी गॉड लाइक्स ईयर। क्या आप उसको रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं?
देखिए, मैं तो बाकी 3 साल, मतलब मैं तो 1 ही साल रहा हूँ, तो मैं जो मेरा साल था उसमें भी मैंने यही मतलब होप किया था, बट बाकी तो भगवान के हाथ में, देखते हैं क्या होगा। हम तो अपना बेस्ट देंगे।
एंड क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं इस आखिरी हफ्ते से बिफोर द फाइनल्स बिगिन? There you go. They're already in the top 4 and अब गॉडमिनोस हमने सुन लिया है, they are aiming for number 1. कल हमारा दूसरा दिन होगा इस हफ्ते का। What do we have in store? There's only one way to find out. Join us at 5 PM for BGMS Season 4.